continued to talk to her. But Jing Tian still responded indifferently. She had no choice but to turn her gaze to Zhao Qingsu and asked with a smile, "This is the first time I meet you. Are you Tianqian's friend?" The other party was so familiar that Zhao Qingsu felt quite uncomfortable. She nodded perfunctorily, "Yeah, yes. Then this must be your first time attending such an occasion." "Right. I often attend such occasions and am very familiar with them. If you have any questions, just ask me. To be honest, if the other person really wants to help you." These words sound very warm, but the problem is that when Tong Li said this, the corners of his lips were raised, with a hint of superiority and contempt, which made people feel particularly uncomfortable. Zhao Qingsu finally understood why Jing Tian didn't want to pay attention to Tong Li. If it were a normal person who would want to deal with someone like this, isn't this just asking for trouble? Next, seeing that Tong Li kept trying to find something to say, Zhao Qingsu, like Jing Tian, just didn't respond. No matter how much the other party said, she would only answer with "yeah." Isn't she annoying? Jing Tian secretly sent a message to Zhao Qingsu to complain. She was a normal person when she was a host, but since she married the founder of Huatai, she has become abnormal. She can't even speak all day long. Do I know her well? She calls me Tianqian all the time. In this circle, many people do not pay much attention to status, but it's still very annoying to encounter something like Tong Li. You said you are not very familiar with the person, so even if you don't lick her, you should at least have basic manners, right? Can't you just call her Miss Jing? You have to call me Tianqian. It's like he's her junior. Haha, yes, this guy. The two of them had been chatting on VX for a few words, when a head suddenly came over to Zhao Qingsu. Zhao Qingsu was startled and quickly put away her phone. She asked awkwardly, "What do you want to say?" When Tong Li saw her panic-stricken look, the contempt in his eyes became even more obvious. "You girls are just too young, so you are impetuous. It's a rare opportunity to come to an investment conference where top bosses gather. Don't play with your phones here. You should learn more." After she finished speaking, she pointed proudly at the middle-aged man in a suit on the stage and said, "This is my husband. This time he is talking about the future of AI technology and development. I hope you can listen carefully." "Oh, okay. Xiaoxu, is your husband here to give a speech this time?" Zhao Qingsu's eyes fell on the stage. There was also some pride in Tong Li's eyes, so he asked. Zhao Qingsu frowned and said, "No. Then you should ask your husband to be more motivated. Only if your husband is motivated enough, you will have more opportunities to participate in such investment meetings in the future. Otherwise, society is developing very fast now. If you are not motivated, you may not be able to keep up with the development and be eliminated one day. This mouth is really good, except for the things it says that are so annoying. It would have been fine if he had been rude to her just now, but now he had even brought Su Yuan up into the matter. Zhao Qingsu immediately became furious. She smiled slightly. "Mrs. Tong, do you know why my husband doesn't have to go up to give a speech?" Seeing that Zhao Qingsu took the rare initiative to bring up the topic, Tong Li was a little confused. Zhao Qingsu continued, "Because your husband has gone to great lengths to give a speech here just to attract investment, and my husband doesn't lack money at all." After hearing what Zhao Qingsu said, Tong Li was stunned for a moment, and then his face quickly turned red and became quite ugly. She was unwilling to accept it. "What do you mean by that?" "Mrs. Tong, don't you understand what she means?" Jing Tian, who was standing next to her, was also annoyed by Tong Li. Seeing Zhao Qingsu scolding others, she also joined in to help. "What she meant was that we don't need to live such a hard life like Madame Tong." After saying that, he looked at his nails and said, "Zuer, I think my nails are not perfect. After the investment meeting is over, shall we go get our nails done together?" "Okay." After the two of them finished talking, they no longer paid any attention to Tong Li. Tong Li had never been bullied like this since she married the founder of Huatai, and a fire was burning in her heart. She clenched her fists and stared at Zhao Qingsu's profile for a while before asking, "By the way, Xiaoxu, I haven't asked you who your husband is." Huatai is a company that specializes in the production of AI chips and accessories. It has cooperated with major smart home companies. Even smart home giants like Lumi have dealings with Huatai. She just didn't believe that this little girl could be that powerful. Seeing Tong Li's ghost lingering around, Zhao Qingsu completely lost her patience. She said unhappily, "Mrs. Tong, you also said that we are here to learn and communicate. I don't think you need to ask who my husband is." After saying this, he didn't wait for Tong Li to answer. She pulled Jingshan up and said, "Tianqian, I need to go to the bathroom. Please come with me." "Good." The two of them finally moved to a quieter place under the pretext of going to the bathroom. However, even after changing positions, the two found that the matter was not completely over. I finally finished listening to the afternoon speech, but who would have thought that I would run into Tong Li again at the dinner party that evening? This time, she followed the founder of Huatai, and the two of them socialized and toasted everywhere. Not long after, the two of them came to Wang Kong with wine glasses in hand. However, it was obvious that their target was not Wang Kong, but Su Yuan, who was sitting with Wang Kong and others. Mr. Su, since you became the chairman of Lumi, the company has been doing better and better, and the business is booming. The new mobile phone is selling very well. Congratulations, Mr. Su. Chapter 218, Long Hair, Short Knowledge. The largest smart home company in China now is Lumi, so Huatai must of course maintain a good relationship with Lumi. The reason why he prepared this speech for so long was to make a good impression on Su Yuan. Su Yuan smiled and said, "Congratulations, your speech just now was also very exciting. So what do you think of my speech just now?" The founder of Huatai took Tong Li and sat down opposite Su Yuan. It seemed that they wanted to have a long talk. Su Yuan said calmly, "Every part of your speech just now was very well written. It can be seen that Huatai is a very promising company, but..." He was just about to continue speaking when he saw Zhao Qingsu and Jing Tian coming back with plates. Neither of them drank alcohol, so the plates contained some fruits and snacks. Originally, Su Yuan wanted Zhao Qingsu to sit next to him, but before he could open his mouth, Tong Li on the opposite side spoke first. "It's Xiaoxu and Tianchen. We were talking to Mr. Su from Lumi. Why are you two here too?" Tong Li finished speaking, and with a hint of provocation, he took the arm of Huatai's founder and asked, "This is my husband. Xiaoxu, where is your husband?" After she asked this question, the atmosphere around suddenly became strange, but she only had Zhao Qingsu in her eyes, and didn't notice that something was wrong with everyone's expressions. The person who coughed was none other than the founder of Huatai. He pulled Tong Li's sleeve with an unpleasant expression, and then said as calmly as possible, "The one in front of you is Mr. Su's wife." Although he spoke calmly, he was very angry in his heart. He had clearly told Tong Li before that Mr. Su of Lumi loved his wife very much, and even showed her a photo of Zhao Qingsu, but she didn't take it seriously. "Hubby, what did you say?" Upon hearing her husband say this, Tong Li was stunned. She couldn't accept this result for a while. Is she Mr. Su's little wife? Of course she knew that Su Yuan's press conference had been on the hot search for so long in the past 2 days, but because she was very busy, she didn't take a closer look at who Zhao Qingsu was. "I just heard that she is a small internet celebrity. I didn't expect that she actually knew Jing Tian. For someone like her who has climbed to where she is today through her own efforts, what she can't stand the most is people like Jing Tian who have everything from birth." Therefore, after she saw Jing Tian, she showed her sense of superiority to Jing Tian without any concealment. Since Zhao Qingsu and Jing Tian were sitting so close, she thought Zhao Qingsu was Jing Tian's friend and didn't think too much about it. Unexpectedly, Zhao Qingsu turned out to be Su Yuan's wife. "This is my wife, what's wrong? Do you have any opinion?" What Su Yuan hated most was someone giving Zhao Qingsu a cold shoulder, so he simply pulled Zhao Qingsu into his arms and sat down. Jing Tian next to him also showed a gloating expression, and sat beside him elegantly holding a plate and watching the fun. "This, Xiaoxu, no, Madam Su, I'm sorry, I didn't recognize you." This was the person that she and her husband wanted to win over. Tong Li realized something was wrong and quickly apologized. The founder of Huatai also apologized. "Mr. Su, my wife is ignorant and embarrassed. Please don't take my wife to heart. She is just a person with long hair and short knowledge." "Yes." Tong Li nodded suddenly. Seeing that Wang Kong was sitting next to Su Yuan and seemed to have a good relationship with him, he said, "Xiao Kong, can you please say a word for me? I have some friendship with your father." Wang Kong is used to being called Mr. Kong by others. He really looks down on ordinary people. It just so happened that Tong Li was among the people he looked down upon. He still called himself Xiaokong at this time and asked him to help speak. Was he out of his mind? He said with a fake smile, "You are the elder, and as a junior I can't get a word in. Besides, how can I have any face in front of Mr. Su?" After he finished speaking, he slapped his head and said as if he remembered something, "By the way, you had a nice daughter back then. She's quite promising and is pretty good at playing pesticides, right?" "Master Kong, what do you mean by this?" As soon as Tong Li opened her mouth, she basically offended everyone present. The founder of Huatai immediately grabbed her hand and stopped her from speaking. Then he stood up and poured a glass of wine for Wang Kong himself. But Wang Kong didn't even move his eyelids. He just looked at Su Yuan next to him. "Young Master Su, you still remember Wanwen, right? Her real name is Hua Wanwen. She is the beloved daughter of President Hua Taehua and Madam Tong. I found out about this, but I forgot to tell you, and I just remembered it now. Oh, I didn't expect that after searching for a long time, I would find it without any effort. He was also wondering why Wanwen was so arrogant, but he didn't expect that she was actually the daughter of the couple in front of him. What's that saying again? Snakes and rats of the same nest. Boss Su, has my daughter offended you in any way? When the founder of Huatai saw this situation, he was a little confused. What is going on? Why did it involve his daughter? I usually have nothing to do, and I just happen to like playing games. Su Yuan said this and glanced at Wang Kong. Wang Kong directly showed the screenshot of Wanwen's post to Huatai's founder and Tong Li. This is your daughter. You should know her, right? Yes, it's our daughter. The two recognized the profile picture as soon as they saw it. After looking at what Hua Wanwen posted, the two of them looked a little embarrassed. Well, children are immature, so they post this kind of updates. It's just because they are young and frivolous. We will teach her a lesson when we go back. The two thought that Hua Wanwen's updates were seen, and that's why she had a bad impression of them, so they didn't take it seriously. But the next moment, what Su Yuan said made their faces completely stiff. As I said before, I usually like to play games with my wife when I have nothing to do. Just by chance, I ran into your daughter a few days ago. The person your daughter paid a reward for is us. After Su Yuan finished speaking, he pulled Zhao Qingsu up. I know that you two work hard for the company and are very busy at work. You may not have time to discipline your children. However, the education of the next generation and the affairs of the company are very important. I hope you will think about it carefully when you go back. The founder of Huatai was stunned and didn't know how to explain this matter for a moment. Su Yuan did not give him a chance to explain. He lowered his head and looked at Zhao Qingsu tenderly. Wife, how about we go over there and dance? Chapter 219, I'm not stingy. Chapter 219. His wife just said something that offended someone, and his daughter jumped out and made a fuss. The founder of Huatai is now completely confused. He felt embarrassed and wanted to apologize to Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu, but looking at their expressions, he knew that this matter could not be resolved with just a few words. Hubby, why don't we go over and talk to them? Whatever you say, go back and discipline your daughter first. The founder of Huatai had a terrible headache. When he married Tong Li, he thought that although she came from a humble background, she was hardworking, beautiful, and a well-known host, so she could be his right-hand man, who knew that I would realize my mistake only after I married her. It's not that she doesn't have any merits, but I don't know where her sense of superiority comes from. She is a host, but she can't even speak and offends people at the slightest provocation. I taught my daughter nothing, but she is very good at eating, drinking, and having fun. Although his company is now successful, it has bright lights on the outside but is empty inside. How can it withstand her spending like water? I finally got her to stay at home and play games. I thought she would be obedient, but I didn't expect that not only did she not behave, she actually caused such a big trouble in the game. After this incident, the founder of Huatai felt embarrassed to stay here any longer and hurriedly said he had something to do and left first. Wow, I've heard that Mr. Su and Mrs. Su are very loving, but I didn't expect it to be true. That's it, a perfect match made in heaven. I thought the show of affection at the mobile phone launch event 2 days ago was the peak, but I didn't expect that it was just the beginning. The people around looked at Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu dancing on the stage with envy in their eyes. Although everyone brings their original spouse with them when attending such important occasions, most of them are brought together for the sake of profit, and it is unknown how much affection there is between the two parties. After arriving here, except for standing together pretending to be a couple when taking pictures, the rest of the time they were communicating with their own circles or pursuing their own careers. There was really no couple like Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu who danced together, and they all thought of the scene at the previous mobile phone launch conference. When they heard that the chairman of Lumi Company was showing off his affection so ostentatiously on such a grand occasion, they thought there was something wrong with their ears at first. That was a mobile phone launch conference. Is this just a prank? However, when they saw that this video was being spread all over the internet, they thought it was just a new type of marketing. To put it bluntly, it was just a routine. After all, they simply couldn't believe that there was such a good relationship between husband and wife. But looking at the figure on the stage, they couldn't help but believe it even if they didn't want to. That's the good thing about being young. You have a lot of energy and plenty of time to fall in love. One of the ladies, who was about 50 years old, couldn't help but sigh. She and her husband are one of the few couples in the circle who got together because they liked each other. They both keep themselves clean and don't have any extramarital affairs outside. They treat each other with respect at home. They can be considered a model couple in the circle. But when it comes to feelings, only the person who drinks the water knows whether it is hot or cold. Outsiders envy them very much, but only they themselves know that, in fact, the goodwill between the two of them has long disappeared due to the involvement of interests, and what they have is just weighing the pros and cons. To put it bluntly, the reason why they maintain the appearance of a model couple is simply for the sake of family reputation. Yes, that's the good thing about young people. They have the energy to talk about these things. How can we have the energy? The other ladies also echoed each other. Jing Tian, who was passing by, heard this. She was acquainted with several of the ladies, so after hearing this, she asked back, "I didn't see you guys having energy when you were young, did you?" Jing Tian's words choked several people. The noble lady in the lead glared at Jing Tian and said, "You little girl just likes to talk nonsense. You are so young, what do you know? Don't think I'm young and look down on me. After all, I have a boyfriend now." Jing Tian covered her mouth and chuckled. "So what I want to say is that even though we are young, we don't have the blessing to be like Mr. Su and Mrs. Su." What? The dance is over. Su Yuan put his arm around Zhao Qingsu's waist and walked off the stage. "You danced well this time. You've improved a lot compared to last time. How did you know that?" Hearing her question, Su Yuan smiled slightly. "Last time I danced for you, my shoes were almost broken by you. This time you only stepped on me 3 times, and you didn't even step on my toes." Zhao Qingsu was silent for a moment. "Humph, you actually still count such things, aren't you too stingy?" "I'm not being stingy, I'm..." Ugh. Before Su Yuan could finish his words, he heard Zhao Qingsu next to him scream. When he looked, he found that Zhao Qingsu was bumped by a passing woman, and the drink splashed all over her arm. Although it wasn't very wet, it still looked ugly in this situation. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I was distracted just now and didn't see." The person who bumped into Zhao Qingsu was a woman in her early 30s, dressed elegantly, but looking a little absent-minded. When she saw that she had bumped into Zhao Qingsu and spilled red wine on her, she was shocked and quickly began to apologize. Many eyes around were also looking over here. As soon as they saw the woman, there was a hint of sarcasm and contempt in their eyes. A low murmur of discussion was heard. "If you are not presentable, you are not presentable. Even if you marry into a wealthy family, you are just a decoration. I actually bumped into someone in this kind of situation. Ha. She didn't do it on purpose, did she?" The people around gave her vague, contemptuous looks, mixed with light discussions. Although it was not clear what she heard, the woman seemed to sense something, and her face became even uglier. Su Yuan was also a little unhappy. "Wife, are you hurt?" "No." Zhao Qingsu shook her head and looked at the woman. "I'm fine. I'll just change my clothes later. You don't have to apologize." "I'm so sorry. I really didn't pay attention." The woman didn't expect Zhao Qingsu to be so gentle. She was shocked and still felt very guilty. She thought for a moment and took off her shawl. "If you don't mind, you can put on my shawl first, and then I'll take you to change clothes." Chapter 220 Investment. "Good." Zhao Qingsu took the knitted shawl from her hand with a smile, and then asked someone to bring the clothes from the car, accompanied by a woman to the locker room. After all, the men's and women's locker rooms are separate, and Su Yuan was embarrassed to go to the women's locker room to guard it. Zin Zielai was very well prepared and had already prepared some clothes for the dinner, so it only took her 10 minutes to change clothes. Instead, Zhao Qingsu started chatting with the woman. "Who is your husband?" Come to think of it, this female protagonist looks quite familiar. "My husband is Liu Jing." The woman smiled and said, "My name is Wang Yang." "Oh, I see, you are the one." When Zhao Qingsu heard the woman reveal her own name and her husband's name, she suddenly understood, mainly because she actually knew these two names. "I saw a report before that said an ordinary female college student married into a wealthy family, became a phoenix, and changed her class. The female college student who married into a wealthy family was Wang Yang, and that wealthy family is Liu Jing. At that time, the Liu family started out as an e-commerce business and was doing very well. However, after she married Wang Yang, the business went downhill. Some people said that she had a face that would bring bad luck to her husband. Although she didn't know the details, she still had some impression of the report. I didn't expect to see him in person this time. After accompanying Zhao Qingsu to change clothes, the two of them had become very familiar with each other. Zhao Qingsu also learned about Wang Yang's situation and knew that she and her husband were in great need of investment. Originally, they were not qualified to participate in this investment meeting, but in order to try their luck, they racked their brains to find connections to get in. They knew that there were many rich people here, so they wanted to see if they could get investment. As for investment, Zhao Qingsu thought for a moment. It seems that my husband also often makes some investments. How about I take your husband to meet my husband? You can discuss the details yourselves. I'll just be a matchmaker. The Kai Kao matchmaking was just a matter of convenience, and seeing that Wang Yang was a good person, Zhao Qingsu was willing to do it. But she gave Wang Yang a heads up in advance. But I don't know much about investment, so whether my husband is willing to invest or not will depend entirely on his opinion. She knew that Su Yuan doted on her, and if she used her own face, Su Yuan would definitely invest some money. But she didn't want to do that, and she couldn't guarantee to Wang Yang that it would succeed. Wang Yang is desperate now. It doesn't matter, as long as you are willing to give me a chance, I will call my husband over right away. Okay, I'll wait for you over there. Zhao Qingsu smiled and returned to Su Yuan. Jing Tian was also sitting there. Seeing Zhao Qingsu coming back, she smiled and said, Qingsu, it's really fun to attend this investment conference with you. Let me tell you, Tong Li has left. I always ran into her in the past and was annoyed by her, but there was nothing I could do about her. This time, she must be too embarrassed to stay here. After she finished speaking, she realized that Zhao Qingsu had changed her clothes and immediately teased, My beautiful lady, when you wore your previous outfit, many people were jealous of you. Now you are changing your clothes. Are you leaving them no chance to survive? What are you talking about? I just had an accident, so I changed my clothes. Zhao Qingsu walked up to Jing Tian and pinched her face. You are not giving others a way out, right? You stay up late every day to film TV series. How come your skin is still so good? You don't know how much it costs for me to go to the beauty salon, and the cosmetics I use are also very expensive. Do you know how much cosmetics I used on my face today? At least 10,000. Jing Tian also made no secret of the fact that her skin was maintained with money. Wang Kong, who was standing next to him, heard what Jing Tian said and came over to ask, You girls are interesting. You act like magic all day long. I remember I'm not much older than you, so why do we look like 2 generations apart? He patted his face and said, Do you think my face can be saved if I go to a beauty salon? Even if you move your house into a beauty salon, your face is hopeless. Jing Tian shook his head and sighed. Not really. Wang Kong scratched his face and asked, How about applying powder? It's not like he doesn't understand women, after all. He has had so many girlfriends. If a woman has bad skin, can't she just put powder on her face? Your face is full of wrinkles, so you must consume at least a box of powder at a time. Su Yuan also interrupted the topic. He patted Wang Kong on the shoulder and said earnestly, I think you can attract women with your own personality charm. You don't need to rely on your face at all, so give up this path. Fuck, Master Su, your mouth is too poisonous, isn't it? Wang Kong was unhappy when Su Yuan said that. What does it mean to have a face full of wrinkles? That's the mark of his time, a sign of maturity. Qin Fen, who was standing next to him, also stood on Wang Kong's side. That's right, Mr. Su. It's fine if you're handsome, but you still come to slander us. If you ask me, Master Kong and Master Fen, you two shouldn't be so anxious. Actually, being handsome doesn't do any good. A rich second-generation guy who was playing with me heard this and laughed. What do you mean? Look, in our circle, aren't the handsome guys unpopular with women? Master Feng, right? Master Su, too. The second-generation rich man continued with a smile. You see, we are different. Although we are not good-looking, we can walk through a sea of flowers without getting a single leaf on us. Isn't this much better than being handsome? You're right, what's good about being handsome? If I were handsome, I would have to worry about whether those women who were with me were attracted to my face. But with my current appearance, I don't have to worry about this problem at all. Wang Kong and Qin Fen thought it made sense. Suddenly, the two of them couldn't eat the grapes and said they were sour. Su Yuan felt a toothache after hearing this. Zhao Qingsu was laughing so hard that her body was shaking. Jing Tian covered his mouth and laughed for a while, then said, You guys are superficial. With a wife as beautiful as Qingsu, why do you still need to be surrounded by other women? Su Yuan added, Besides, I'm afraid that you are living in a flower garden. Seize the bamboo shoots, Master Su. Master Su, please be more polite. While a few people were chatting here, Wang Yang also came over with her husband Liu Jing. As soon as Zhao Qingsu saw them coming, she stood up and introduced them to Su Yuan affectionately. Husband, this is my new friend Wang Yang, and this is her husband Liu Jing. Chapter 221, It's Too Hard to Do. Several people also introduced themselves to each other. Liu Jing has been in the circle for many years, so of course he knows Wang Kong and others. However, because of the age difference and the different circles we moved in, although we knew each other, we were not actually very familiar with each other, just nodding acquaintances. Wang Kong, Qin Fen, and others have also heard about Liu Jing's current predicament. Liu Jing's e-commerce platform is called Jingyang. In fact, it was doing quite well in the past few years. However, due to the increasing number of competitors and Liu Jing's aggressive attempt to take charge of e-commerce and logistics, the capital chain was broken and Jingyang is in danger recently. So during this period of time, Liu Jing has been looking for investment everywhere. But the question is investing that easy? First of all, for a company as big as Jingyang, if it wants to completely solve the company's financial loopholes and keep the company going, it will definitely require a considerable investment. Ordinary people simply cannot afford this kind of investment, and those investors who can afford it, who is not cunning. Investing in Jingyang is too risky and the returns are not proportional, so they have been playing dead. Liu Jing and Wang Yang have been very busy with investment issues recently. However, Wang Kong and others knew his situation, and in fact Su Yuan also knew it. However, although Su Yuan knew it clearly, he just didn't expect that one day Liu Jing would come to him for help. Mr. Liu, it seems that you have been having a good time recently. Several people also exchanged pleasantries with Liu Jing, but did not mention anything about investment. Liu Jing was a little anxious. You all know the current situation of my company. I am just short of being forced to jump off the building. A centipede is still alive even after it dies. Mr. Liu, you are just unlucky temporarily. When your luck improves, the company's business will be a piece of cake, right? No matter what Liu Jing said about the company, Wang Kong, Qin Fen and others just laughed it off and did not talk to him about business. The talk was just false compliments. However, Su Yuan rarely spoke up. Mr. Liu, to be honest, I know your company's capital chain is broken and you are in urgent need of money, but I want to ask how much money do you need? As for Jingyang, everyone just watched silently from the sidelines and had no intention of lending a helping hand. The main reason is that everyone thinks Jingyang is a bottomless pit. Even if you invest the money in it, you may not get a return in the future. However, Su Yuan has his own opinion. He has always felt that Jingyang's distribution logistics model is very good, but due to insufficient funds, there are relatively few warehouses across the country, and the logistics network is not very developed. But if it can be done, it will definitely have a promising future. I only need 50 million. Liu Jing didn't expect Su Yuan to ask so directly. She was stunned for a moment, then excitedly took out her mobile phone from her pocket, pointed out the files and data one by one to Su Yuan, and then spoke out her grand plans and ideas with saliva flying. Wang Kong and his companions lost interest in the lecture and kept yawning. They thought it was extremely boring and left halfway through. It's okay for them to joke around, but if you listen to this, it's like being in jail. But Su Yuan listened very carefully. Mr. Su, what do you think of my idea? In fact, Liu Jing was quite frustrated that Wang Kong and Qin Fen ran away halfway. But seeing that Su Yuan was listening seriously, he didn't pay attention to such a small matter. He just wants investment now. If he still can't get the money within a month, then the company won't be able to operate normally. I think your idea is a good one, really. Su Yuan nodded and frowned, but Liu Jing was very nervous, afraid that Su Yuan would not invest, so she quickly asked, "But what? If you have any questions, just tell me. As long as Su Yuan is willing to pay the money now, I'll even let him call me Dad. But I think 50 million may not be enough." Su Yuan continued to analyze the data he had just brought out, and then took out the calculator on his phone to calculate. If I invest 50 million in you, then there is a 99% chance that my 50 million will go down the drain, and I won't get a penny back. Liu Jing smiled bitterly and nodded. Mr. Su, I know this investment is very risky, but if it succeeds, it will definitely make money. Of course, Su Yuan knew about this. So what Mr. Su means is, I won't invest 50 million. After hearing what Su Yuan said, Liu Jing might have become numb from being rejected, so she wasn't very disappointed. After all, not everyone has the courage to invest such a huge sum of money. But I can invest 500 million. However, before Liu Jing could even say anything polite, Su Yuan's answer stunned him. He seemed to be a little bit unconvinced what he heard, and suddenly raised his voice and asked again, "What did you say?" "Hubby, young Master Su said he invested 500 million. Wang Yang, who was standing by, didn't expect that things would turn out well, and such a big surprise would fall from the sky. She excitedly grabbed Zhao Qingsu's hand and said, "Mrs. Su, thank you so much." Zhao Qingsu smiled slightly and did not take credit for it. "Why are you thanking me? I was just setting you up. My husband decided to invest because your husband convinced my husband. Mr. Wang, I think you shouldn't be too happy too soon. My investment of 500 million has conditions. Su Yuan is not doing charity. Since it is an investment, he must be thinking about making money. Of course, Liu Jing nodded repeatedly. This kind of investment certainly couldn't be pie in the sky. First, if you want me to invest in you, you need to change your company's policies and future decisions. I don't care about the specific details, but the general direction must be changed. If you continue with your previous plan, let alone investing 500 million, even if you invest 5 billion, your company is doomed to lose money. Su Yuan was the first to ask Liu Jing to nod without hesitation. He knew that what Su Yuan said made sense. In fact, his previous thoughts were similar to Su Yuan's, but he just thought about it and never thought about actually doing it. Because that's too hard to do. If he wants to plan for the long term, he will need a lot of money to lay the foundation. Now he can't even get an investment of 50 million to help the company tide over the difficulties, let alone 500 million. But Su Yuan was actually willing to invest, so of course there was no reason for him to refuse. Also, I won't take advantage of you. If I invest 500 million, you have to give me 30% of your company's shares. Chapter 222, Wife, Look. Chapter 222, 30% of the shares. This is indeed a bit too much. Liu Jing subconsciously raised her head to bargain with Su Yuan, but when she met Su Yuan's calm eyes, she immediately gave up the idea. Although 30% of the shares is indeed too much, as long as the company can be preserved and developed in the future, isn't this more important than anything else? He didn't dare to offend Su Yuan, the god of wealth now. After the basic direction was agreed upon, the cooperation between the two was initially and formally confirmed. Of course, the media would not miss such a thing and reported it in a hurry. When Wang Kong and others heard the news, they started drafting the contract. However, although they cannot afford the investment, they certainly cannot stop Su Yuan from investing. They can only say that he is generous, and he invested 500 million yuan without hesitation. Su Yuan smiled slightly. It's only 500 million. It's just the money I used to buy jewelry for my wife. Why should I be so soft-hearted? When they thought about the last time Su Yuan bid for a gemstone for Zhao Qingsu at the Fuhua auction, Wang Kong and Qin Fen were speechless. After all, if someone says this, it will definitely be suspected of bragging. But they saw Su Yuan with their own eyes. After attending the dinner of Fuhua Club, it was already 8 o'clock in the evening. Although they just sat all day, they were still very tired. After Su Yuan brought Zhao Qingsu back to the villa, they went directly to the spa in the villa and called 2 people to come for massage. The 2 of them were enjoying the relaxation while looking at their phones. When Zhao Qingsu watched TV dramas before, she was shocked to see the heroines receiving such treatment. She thought it was too extravagant and not realistic. But after you really enjoy it, I just realized that everything filmed in the TV series is actually true. Wife, look. Su Yuan also put his phone screen in front of Zhao Qingsu and asked, "Are you relieved now?" Displayed on his mobile phone screen was an apology statement from Hua Wanwen. It is estimated that after the founder of Huatai and Tong Li left the dinner, they went straight home to educate their daughter. So now the update that Hua Wanwen posted before has been deleted by her, and the latest update is an apology statement. "I'm really sorry. My childish and immature behavior in the game set a very bad example for everyone and caused a very bad influence. I would like to apologize to the 2 people I have hurt." The apology statement was lengthy. Zhao Qingsu didn't finish reading it, as it was basically just some words of confession. A few days ago, everyone was still discussing how powerful the richest woman in the pesticide industry was. Unexpectedly, not long after, the richest woman in the pesticide industry actually came out and issued an apology statement. Looking at this apology statement, everyone found it unbelievable. "I thought the richest woman in pesticide industry was so amazing. Is this it? Are you scared? Are you scared just like that? How can I not be timid? He is the chairman of Lumi." In fact, when this incident came out, everyone thought it was a long-term tug of war. After all, although Su Yuan's identity as the chairman of Green Rice is impressive, they feel that the richest woman in pesticide is not simple either. There are still many people supporting Wanwen. I didn't expect that Wanwen had already issued an apology statement in just 2 days. This disappointed many people, but Zhao Qingsu's fans jumped for joy. "Our Zuer is the apple of Brother Yuan's eye. If you dare to scold Zuer, isn't this fate already predetermined? Brother Yuan is so awesome." "What Brother Yuan? That's my husband tilde. What? Is there any movement from young Master Su's side?" In the Hua family's living room, the founder of Huatai, along with Tong Li and Hua Wanwen, nervously waited for the result of issuing the apology statement. Afraid that Su Yuan wouldn't see the apology statement, I specially at-E'd him. But 2 hours passed, and there was no movement from the other side. I don't know what the other party is thinking. This made the whole family very nervous. Hua Wanwen curled her lips. I think they are just stingy people. They will never forgive me, so forget it. Bang! However, just as Hua Wanwen finished her words, Tong Li slapped her on the head. What nonsense are you talking about? If it weren't for you causing trouble, would things have become so bad? How do I know they are so powerful? Hua Wanwen was very unconvinced after being beaten. She also saw the information of Li Bai and Zyro Cairo at that time. The two of them didn't even have full heroes and full skins. It was obvious that they were not big shots. But who knew that Li Bai on the opposite side was actually the chairman of Lumi? But Hua Wanwen curled her lips in disdain. Dad, Mom, are you so afraid of offending them? It's just a small Lumi company. They're not the only ones making smart homes. Why don't we cooperate with others? What do you know? The founder of Huatai was so angry at his daughter's words that he sneered. In the smart home field, Lumi is the largest manufacturing company. If we can get their contract, our company can double its size. It's not impossible not to expand it. It's pretty good now, isn't it? Pretty good, ass. The face of Huatai's founder became more and more ugly. Doing business is like sailing against the current. If you don't make progress, you will fall behind. If the company doesn't make progress, it will be eliminated sooner or later. As for you, not only will you not be able to live a life of luxury in the future, you will also have to shoulder a lot of debts. What should you do about young Master Su's matter? Think about it carefully. After he finished speaking, he casually turned the remote control to the financial channel. The news being reported above is that Lumi invested 500 million yuan in Jingyang. Hua Wanwen then realized the seriousness of the matter. She bit her lip. But they ignore me. What can I do? To be honest, it is unfair to say that Zhao Qingsu and Su Yuan deliberately ignored people. After reading Hua Wanwen's apology statement, Zhao Qingsu just brushed past it without saying anything. To her, Hua Wanwen was just like any other teammate in Pesticide who scolded her. She wasn't actually very angry, so the apology didn't seem that important, and she was too lazy to respond. The same goes for Su Yuan. The two of them tacitly agreed that the matter was over. Besides, they have now started thinking about more important things. How about our wedding be on October 2nd? We have been married for several months, so of course the wedding has to be put on the agenda. Winter is too cold and summer is too hot, so autumn is the most suitable season for a wedding. There happens to be a short holiday in October, so it is convenient for everyone to come and attend the wedding. Otherwise, they have to ask for leave from the company. After all, Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu have free time, while others still have to go to work. Chapter 223, I'll help you check. There is about half a month left until the wedding day. It sounds like a long time, but there is so much to prepare for the wedding, and half a month is too tight. Zhao Qingsu said she would design the invitations and souvenirs herself, so she was actually the busiest person during this period. Su Yuan got the wedding scene design. She had drawn and directly found an internationally renowned design company to go to the island to start preparations. In addition, the two also told their parents about this matter in advance. When Su Yuan's mother heard that the two were going to have a wedding, she was very happy and asked repeatedly, "Son, Qingsu trusts you so much that she wants to get married with you despite her mother's objection. We must not let her down at the wedding. We have to have a grand wedding. Do you need money for the wedding? If you do, I can transfer some money to you." "Mom, how could I be short of money? Hey, look at my brain. If I'm not short of money, what else am I short of?" Su Yuan's mother was so happy that her brain almost stopped working. She took out her cell phone and said, "I'll check it out." "Mom, don't worry." Zhao Qingsu, who was standing next to her, looked at her mother-in-law in the video and couldn't help but smile. "Aren't you an experienced person?" "I'm an experienced person, but our wedding was different from yours. I just made some new clothes with Su Yuan's father, and then I wore the new clothes and had a meal with my family and passed away. Su Yuan's grandparents and grandparents-in-law passed away early and left no property. The two had a rather tortuous process of growing up, and it was not easy for them to be together. Life was difficult at that time, so they didn't have a wedding. When life got better, Su Yuan and Su Yao were born one after another. Life is so busy with the daily necessities that there is no time to dream about things like a wedding. I never thought that in the blink of an eye, you're going to have your wedding. Not knowing what she was thinking about, Su Yuan's mother's nose began to feel sore. When Su Yuan's father saw that she was about to cry, he quickly patted her shoulder and said, "It's a happy day, why are you crying?" "Stop crying." "Why am I crying? I'm just happy." Su Yuan's mother wiped the tears from her eyes and raised her lips again. "Have you decided on the location for the wedding? How are the preparations going? Do you want help?" Mom, don't worry about this. We are all ready. Su Yuan smiled slightly. Zhao Qingsu also nodded. Yes, Mom, you just need to come to the wedding happily. By the way, I have also prepared wedding clothes for you and Dad. Come, take a look and see if you like the style tilde tilde. Zhao Qingsu is a fashion designer, so of course she is responsible for making clothes for everyone in her family. When Zhao Qingsu went home before, she spent some time with Su Yuan's mom and dad. She knew what their preferences were and their sizes, so she prepared them in advance. The preliminary cutting has been completed. According to Zhao Qingsu's idea, she would let Su Yuan's mom and dad come over to try on the clothes 2 days before the wedding. If they are not suitable, they can modify them then. Su Yuan's father had 2 suits and 2 Chinese-style dresses. The styles were simple and elegant. He was quite satisfied. They look good. Qingsu is really clever. Su Yuan's mother Zhao Qingsu prepared a lot of clothes, not only cheongsam dresses, but also skirts, shawls, and scarves for daily wear. And so on are all matched. Qingsu, these clothes are really beautiful, just like the ones those rich ladies wear in TV dramas. However, there is one thing you should do. Make them smaller. There have been too many happy things recently. I've gained 7 to 8 kilograms. I'm going to lose some weight in the next half month. Su Yuan's mother smiled and gestured at her waist. I can't embarrass you. Mom, losing weight too quickly is bad for your health, but I have a weight loss tool tilde tilde. Thinking of the apples in the farmhouse, Zhao Qingsu discussed with Su Yuan's parents and asked them to go to the Magic City in advance. The two of them agreed in order to help Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu. After talking to Su Yuan's parents, they returned to the Magic City the next day. Since they were close by, the two of them went to Zhao Qingsu's parents and told them about this matter in person. After hearing the couple's decision, Zhao Qingsu's father was very happy. You are finally going to have your wedding. If you need anything, just let us know. We will definitely help if we can. Mom and Dad, we are basically ready. There is nothing we can help with. Have you decided where to hold the wedding? This is what Zhao Qingsu's mother is most concerned about. She took out her mobile phone and clicked on several 5-star hotels. This is a wedding. It's all about face. You can't be stingy. I think these places are pretty good. What are you doing? Zhao Qingsu's father got a headache when he saw her like this. It's up to the young people to decide where to hold their wedding. We just need to respect their opinions. They are still young. Shouldn't I give some advice? Zhao Qingsu's mother shook off Zhao Qingsu's father's hand. Especially you, Yuan. Who are you? An ordinary hotel is too cheap. Mom, I know. I've already chosen the location. Don't worry about it. Su Yuan knew very well what kind of person Zhao Qingsu's mother was. Where is it? Mom, this is a secret for the time being. Zhao Qingsu took over the conversation with a smile. Mom, don't worry. I think the place my husband picked will definitely be very good. But, no buts, we're getting married, so you just need to come, and don't worry about anything. Zhao Qingsu knew very well that her mother was a complete troublemaker. When she got married, she didn't ask her mother for any help, but just hoped that she would be quiet and not cause any trouble. What do you mean we can just come here? Isn't that too irresponsible? Zhao Qingsu's mother was quite dissatisfied with what Zhao Qingsu said. However, Zhao Qingsu's father secretly gave Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu a look, meaning that I will take good care of your mother, so you can rest assured. Zhao Qingsu secretly gave her father a thumbs up. Zhao Qingsu's mother was still chattering. This is your first marriage and you don't know anything and have no experience. I've been married before, so if you have any questions, remember to tell me and I'll help you check. Okay, Mom, I'll tell you if there's anything. After finally convincing Zhao Qingsu's mother, they started talking about sending invitations. Zhao Qingsu has already designed the invitation, and now she just needs to confirm how many copies to print. Chapter 224, there is also this matter. Chapter 224, Su Yuan doesn't have many relatives. However, Zhao Qingsu has quite a lot of relatives, so it is estimated that dozens of invitations have to be sent out. Zhao Qingsu's mother volunteered to take over this matter. The two stayed for dinner and didn't go out until after 6 o'clock. Zhao Qingsu's parents saw them off. Big sister, this is very difficult for me. I am just trying to make a living. You can't leave me without food, right? However, as soon as I reached the door, I saw a man and a woman arguing at the door of the house at the stairs. The man was wearing a blue work suit and carrying a toolbox with the words, "Professional Lock Picking," written in red on the box. It was obvious that he was a locksmith. The woman was holding a bag in her hand and was dressed neatly. It was obvious that she had just returned from get off work. Why can't I let you eat? I didn't say I won't give you money. Here, take the money and leave quickly. You stink of sweat. The woman looked to be around 30 years old, with delicate makeup and perfume on her body. She looked very plump and obviously worked in an office. She took out 10 yuan from her bag with disgust and threw it into the man's hand. The man took the 10 yuan with an ugly expression. Sister, we clearly agreed on 60 yuan before. How can you give me 10 yuan? Isn't it just opening a lock? Isn't $10 enough? I'm not asking you to change the locks. But we agreed on 60. When did we agree on this? How could I not know? Anyway, I only have $10. Take it or leave it if you want. What? It's that stingy old hen again. Seeing the two quarreling, even Zhao Qingsu's mother couldn't stand it anymore. She secretly said to Su Yuan, "Our community is not a low-class community by definition. I don't know why such a low-quality person like her lives here. She is so stingy that she refuses to pay the property management fee and public health fee. She has owed money for several years. Garbage is piled up at the door every day, and the cleaning lady takes it out bag by bag. It seems that Zhao Qingsu's mother is quite dissatisfied with her. I guess something unpleasant must have happened between the two of them." However, Su Yuan didn't ask too many questions and just walked over there. "Sister, are you really not going to give me money?" Seeing the man sweating profusely in anxiety, Su Yuan also knew that it was not easy for him to make money and glanced at the woman. Seeing Su Yuan so handsome and tall, the woman's eyes lit up and her tone softened. "What do you mean by not paying? I paid, okay? You are so handsome, but you can't wrongly accuse me." The man was anxious. "It's 60, not 10. "What do you mean 60? You just opened a lock and you dare to ask me for 60? Are you dreaming?" After she finished speaking, she turned the tables and said, "Look at him. He thinks I'm a woman who's easy to bully, and he's deliberately trying to rip me off. It's just a lock opening, right? How could he charge 60? "Why?" The man was left speechless by the woman's words and didn't know how to defend himself. Some people are so thick-skinned that it's useless to reason with them. 60, right? I'll give it to you." Su Yuan was silent for a moment, took out money from his bag and handed it to the man. The man pushed it away hesitatingly. "No need. Here." After Su Yuan finished speaking, he stuffed the money into his hand. The woman thought that Su Yuan took the initiative to pay for her because he liked her. A trace of flattery and ecstasy flashed in her eyes, and then she leaned towards Su Yuan. "Handsome guy, I feel so embarrassed to ask you to pay for me. Why don't you come to my house for a drink?" "No." Su Yuan dodged her in disgust, took a step forward and closed her door. Bang! With the sound of the door opening, the woman was stunned. "What are you doing? You didn't spend a penny. Why would someone help you unlock the door?" Su Yuan asked back calmly. "I gave $10. Bang! The woman was about to explain herself, but the locksmith understood what Su Yuan meant and returned the 10 yuan to the woman. "I can't take your job for 10 yuan. You should find someone else to open the lock for you." After saying that, he left. The woman stomped her feet in astonishment. "Come back here." Unfortunately, the locksmith didn't even turn his head. After Su Yuan achieved his goal, he went downstairs with Zhao Qingsu and others. The woman was so angry that she slammed the door a few times. After her lock was opened, she had no time to go back to get the key because she had been bargaining at the door. Now that the door is closed, we need to find someone to unlock it. However, she contacted several nearby locksmith companies, but they were either not available that day or had already gone off work and ignored her. "What? Hubby, well done." Zhao Qingsu couldn't help but hold back her laughter when she thought of the woman's domineering look. "Let me tell you, I've suffered at the hands of that woman before. When I was in high school, I came home from school one day, and the 10 yuan in my hand was blown away by the wind. I watched the money fall at her feet and was about to pick it up, but she insisted that the money was hers. Although this happened a long time ago, Zhao Qingsu still remembers it vividly. Because she didn't have much pocket money when she was in high school, 10 yuan was her daily pocket money, and she planned to use the money to buy a nice notebook, but it was picked up by the woman. She refused to pay the money back and even threatened to have a fight with her. She was thin-skinned and immediately became timid when she saw so many people watching. She didn't dare tell her mother about this. Her mother was not a good person either. If she heard about this, she would definitely go to the other person's house and make a big fuss. The two of them might even quarrel. Is there such a thing? Sure enough, after hearing Zhao Qingsu talk about this, Su Yuan hadn't even expressed his opinion yet, but Zhao Qingsu's mother's eyes began to glow with anger. That damn iron hen actually dared to bully my daughter. I'm so angry. I'm going to find her now. Mom, that was many years ago. I've been trying to get that money back for so many years. Seeing that her mother couldn't stop her, Zhao Qingsu had no choice but to look at her father. Zhao Qingsu's father did not stop her. He just said, "Go ahead and avenge your daughter. And by the way, take revenge for the last time you snatched discounted tomatoes from her at the vegetable market." When Zhao Qingsu's mother mentioned the discounted tomatoes, she immediately looked a little embarrassed. You old man, why are you talking about this? It's not just my daughter who has old grudges. You have them too, right? Of course we have to take revenge together. Thinking of the last fight in the supermarket, Zhao Qingsu's mother finally stopped. Forget it, that iron hen, I'll let her go this time for your sake. Chapter 225, what are you going to do then? After informing both sets of parents about the wedding, the next step is to notify friends, classmates, etc. Zhao Qingsu's interpersonal relationships are relatively simple. Apart from a few good friends in high school, she only has colleagues, college roommates, and her best friend Qi Han. Su Yuan's side is not complicated either. The first person he notified was Li Hao. I'm getting married on National Day, and you must come no matter what. Li Hao was stunned for a moment after receiving this news. Weren't you already married a long time ago? Second marriage. I'll give you a hammer. Su Yuan cursed angrily. Of course it's Qingsu and I's wedding. We only got the marriage certificate at that time, but didn't have the wedding yet. This time we're having the wedding. I see. Never mind. You definitely can't have me without you at your wedding, so how about this? I'll take half a month off to help you with the wedding. Li Hao hesitated for a moment. There was a pause. Do I need you? Of course, I'm your good brother. I won't cheat you no matter what, but others may not be the same. Quick, I'll come over right now. No, no, no. What, are you disgusted? Seeing Li Hao's enthusiasm, Su Yuan was really helpless. I'm not holding a wedding in Shanghai. Where are you going then? Your hometown. No. Su Yuan thought for a moment and said, I haven't told anyone about the location of my wedding yet. Li Hao was confused. Are you holding a wedding or are you playing an undercover agent? It's just a wedding location. Why can't you tell others? You know nothing. This is a romance between Qingsu and I. Romance is nothing. You will understand when you have children. Romance is fake. Daily necessities are the true nature of life. As the stupid son of a landlord, Li Hao was not welcome at home before, but his father gave him a lot of money, so he was quite happy having fun outside. After all, life couldn't be miserable if he didn't need money to do anything. But now that he has fallen out with his family, even though he has his own job, it is nothing compared to the money his father used to give him. Now all he has to do every day is go to work, come back after work, take care of the kids after get off work, and he is exhausted all day long. Just you. Su Yuan didn't comment on what Li Hao said. He shrugged and said, I won't tell you anymore. If you really want to help me with the wedding, I'll send you an address and you can go directly there. I'll leave everything to you. The wedding location is too far away. Although the wedding planning team is one of the best in the world, it won't work without someone from our own to look after it. So he felt that Li Hao had played a certain role in the past. Li Hao nodded and took a look at the address Su Yuan sent. The next second, his eyes almost popped out of his head. What kind of a place is this? There's water all around, and there's a fingernail-sized space in the middle. How many people can stand there? Looking at the map, the island does not seem to be very noticeable. Su Yuan's face suddenly darkened. Are you going or not? You are my good brother. Your business is my business. I will definitely help you if you want to get married, but this place is real. Li Hao didn't know how to tell Su Yuan. Let me tell you, I met a buddy when I went abroad before. He also had a private island and took me there to see it. Although private islands sound very beautiful, the experience is actually not that good. At that time, they went there happily, thinking that they could elevate their souls and experience the feeling of living in a paradise. As a result, after living on that island for 3 days, he almost suffocated to death. There is no mobile phone signal on the island. At most, you can make a satellite call. There is water and electricity, but the water has to be separated before it can be used. Power generation mainly relies on solar energy and small generators, which are not only troublesome to use, but also very unstable and must be used sparingly. The most important thing is that there is actually nothing to do on the island. There is not even a beautiful woman. Just get over here, kid. Why are you talking so much nonsense? If you don't want to, I'll find someone else. However, his words did not shake Su Yuan at all. Li Hao was helpless. If you don't listen to the old man, you will suffer the consequences. Have you forgotten whose son you are? What are you talking about? After hanging up the phone, although he was extremely reluctant, Li Hao still made arrangements for the company, then packed up his things and planned to prepare for Su Yuan's wedding. However, he only packed up his own wedding. Yan Yan, who was standing beside him, watched him pack up eagerly, then asked in confusion, Dad, where are you going? Don't you want me anymore? After saying this, the little girl was about to cry. Li Hao was very troubled. If he could take the little guy with him, he would of course want to keep him by his side. But the problem was that life on the island was too hard, and he didn't want the little guy to suffer with him. So he thought about it and said, How about I send you to live with your grandparents for 2 days? Yan Yan shook her head and hugged Li Hao's thighs. No. Why are Grandpa and Grandma not nice to you? My grandparents are very good to me, but I like my dad more. Although the little guy's white and tender hands are small, they are very strong and Li Hao can't break free. But Dad has something very important to do now. What is it? Yan Yan blinked her big eyes in grievance, raised her head and asked. I see, Dad, you are going to find a new mother for Yan Yan, right? Li Hao was so angry that he laughed. Where did you hear all this nonsense? Why should I find a new mother for you? Although Li Hao initially wondered if Yan Yan's lack of maternal love was not good, after spending some time with her, he found that Yan Yan had completely adapted to life without her mother. He was also gradually able to take good care of Yan Yan and stopped thinking about this aspect. Then what are you going to do? Yan Yan's eyes widened. I don't care, Yan Yan will go with you. Then how can you not go? No matter what. I talked to the little lowly for a long time, but she still refused to give in. In the end, she was so sleepy that she almost fell asleep. She lay softly in Li Hao's arms, her long eyelashes gradually falling, and she began to snore slightly. Li Hao carried her to his crib with amusement. Just as he was about to leave, he heard her repeat in a low voice, Daddy, I want to be with Daddy. Chapter 226, Guaranteeing the Completion of the Mission. You are such a clingy little thing. I really owed you that in my previous life. Yan Yan was unwilling to stay in the imperial capital alone, so Li Hao had no choice but to take her with him when he left the next day. The little girl happily applied sunscreen, put on her own sunflower sunglasses and a beautiful hat, and carried a small suitcase. She was very excited. Dad, are we going on vacation? Thinking of his previous experience on the island, Li Hao sighed. No, we are going to jail. Why are we going to jail? Did Dad make some mistake? Yes. Li Hao picked up the little girl and said, your father, shouldn't have been so nosy as to agree to help your godfather prepare the wedding. Dad, it's wrong for you to do this. My godfather is very good to me, so you should be good to him too. Oh, you know all this. The two had already boarded the plane while they were talking, and about 5 hours later, the plane finally landed. Looking at the bright sunshine in the Maldives, the little girl was so happy that she ran to the sun and turned around excitedly. Dad, are we going to be imprisoned here? You are such a beautiful person. How could such a good thing happen? Li Hao pointed to the boundless sea and said, It's over there. In the water, that's even better. It's so fun to be with Dad, tilde. No matter what Li Hao said, Yan Yan was quite optimistic. However, Li Hao was becoming more and more depressed. If he stayed here for half a month, he would probably become a cripple due to the sun exposure. Fortunately, he is dark-skinned, but I am afraid that the little girl will get tanned. After thinking about it, Li Hao felt that 1 bottle of sunscreen might not be enough, so he bought 2 more bottles. After having a meal at the airport, the receptionist came over. Li Hao took Yan Yan on board the boat and headed straight for the island where Su Yuan was going to hold his wedding. Dad, look, there's a castle. On the boat, the bored Li Hao was lying on the deck basking in the sun with a book covering his head. It was unknown whether he was asleep or what. Yan Yan was running around on the deck, having a lot of fun by himself. But not long after, Yan Yan's surprised voice rang out. Li Hao muttered, Where did the castle come from? Look, it's right in front. Castle, humph, I think it's more like a mirage. After he muttered this, he turned over and planned to continue sleeping. However, not long after he turned over, Yan Yan lay directly in front of him and pulled the book off his face. Dad, look, I didn't lie to you. There really is a castle. After saying that, he pointed forward. Li Hao looked in the direction of her finger with unpleasantness. He was very disgusted at first, but after taking one look, he was stunned. Fuck. At first, he thought Yan Yan was just playing a joke on him, but he didn't expect that there really was an island with lush flowers and trees on the sea not far away. The island was full of flowers and trees, and from a distance it looked lush and green, like a fairyland. Between the flowers and trees, a long red castle spire appeared. It really looks like something drawn in a fairy tale book. No wonder Yan Yan is so excited. But the biggest problem is this real or fake? Is this really a mirage? Mr. Li, we are almost there, just ahead. Just when Li Hao was puzzled, the staff member who came to pick him up said with a smile. We soon stopped at the pier. Carrying the luggage became the staff's job. Li Hao was embarrassed at first, but the staff smiled and said, Of course we will do this kind of small thing. How can we trouble Mr. Li? Now Li Hao is half their leader, so of course they cannot neglect Li Hao. Li Hao handed the luggage to the staff. He carried Yan Yan onto the island. This island was completely different from what he had imagined. He originally thought that all islands were as barren and boring as the islands of his friends he had visited before. But after arriving at this island, he realized that he had been narrow-minded. Not only is the environment on this island very beautiful, but the houses are also very solidly built and have all kinds of facilities, making it no different from living on land. But what is here is not available on land. Brother Yuan, you really know how to enjoy yourself, don't you? He immediately called Su Yuan to express his shock. What are you still designing? The environment here is completely suitable for holding a wedding. There is no need to do anything extra. Then you just do your best. Make sure to complete the mission. What? After Su Yuan informed Li Hao about the wedding, he then informed his college classmates and Wang Kong and others. When several college classmates heard that he was getting married, they were all very happy. Brother Yuan, don't worry, we will definitely come when the time comes. Do you need us to be your best men? Of course you need it. Send me the sizes of the clothes you want to wear, and I will prepare your best man suits. Okay. But compared to the simple blessings from college classmates, Wang Kong and others here were much more depressed. Don't you have a wife? Why do you want to get married? Isn't the wife you keep talking about your lover? Why does this sound familiar? Su Yuan was silent for a moment. What are you thinking? Of course it's Kingsu and I's wedding. No matter what, you all should come here on that day. Hey, Mr. Su, we will definitely come over for your wedding. Where are you getting married? The address is kept secret for now. After notifying all the relatives and friends around, Zhao Qingsu also designed the invitations. She handed the invitation to Su Yuan and said, "Here, it's for you." Su Yuan took a look and said, "My wife is really clever, tilde tilde." After saying that, he immediately sent the design to Xin Ziolai and asked her to quickly make 300 copies. Xin Ziolai went there first. About 5 days later, almost everyone who should be invited received the invitation. But when looking at the wedding location on the invitation, they fell into deep thought. What is this place? Why have I never heard of it? Xianmi Island? The name sounds impressive, but how do we get there? Why do we have to get married on an island? A group of people looked at the wedding location on the wedding invitation with confusion on their faces. They actually had to go abroad to attend a wedding. Or maybe we shouldn't go there, it's too far. I just checked the place and it's in the Maldives. Jin Pingping, a college classmate of Zhao Qingsu, frowned and began to back out. Chapter 227, what are you talking about? It's not that she didn't want to go on purpose, but the main reason was that the air ticket to Maldives was too expensive, especially during the National Day holiday. The air ticket was simply sky high. She spent half a month's salary on the round-trip ticket, not to mention the gift that will be given at that time. Jin Pingping's boyfriend was stunned for a moment when he heard this. Why not go? We must go and see this kind of wedding. I have never seen such a high-standard wedding in my life. Pingping, I didn't expect that you have such a rich college classmate. She was just lucky enough to find a treasure and found a capable boyfriend. Let me tell you, her boyfriend didn't look like a rich man except for his good looks before. I didn't expect that after graduation he would be like a cheat. When Jin Pingping said this, his tone was full of envy and jealousy. Although she was busy with work after graduation and had little contact with Zhao Qingsu, she learned from her circle of friends that she was living a very good life now. At first, she was still wondering if Zhao Qingsu relied on her beauty to kick Su Yuan out, and then found a rich second-generation boyfriend. But the wedding invitation clearly stated that the groom was Su Yuan. They might be pretending to be poor in college. Jin Pingping's boyfriend held the invitation in his hands, his eyes sparkling. Did you see that? This invitation is worth at least 10,000. Jin Pingping was very confused. What do you mean by that? Take a close look at what the golden words on this invitation are. Is this gold foil? It is undeniable that the invitation is very exquisite and has a sense of design. But as an invitation, it is inevitably a bit tacky, and the words on it are all golden. Jin Pingping didn't think much about it. She thought those words were just gold foil. But after she took a closer look, she was stunned. Is this real 18K gold? It couldn't be more true. It's true that rich people are very generous. But for just this invitation, they actually used real gold. Jin Pingping's boyfriend sighed and poked Jin Pingping. I say you are such a fool. You have such a rich roommate, but you don't know how to make good use of him. Don't be so cold to him. Contact him more often. Maybe you can get a good job opportunity. What are you talking about? When Jin Pingping heard this, he immediately became angry. Although she was a little envious of Zhao Qingsu's good life, when she heard her boyfriend asking her to take advantage of Zhao Qingsu, she sneered. Do you think everyone is you? You can take advantage of anything. Look at what you said. I just mentioned it casually, didn't I? When Jin Pingping's boyfriend saw that she was angry, he immediately hugged her and tried to comfort her. Okay, I just said it casually. Don't be angry with me for this kind of thing, okay? You should take good care of your skin now. When you go to your roommate's wedding, you must look radiant and let them see it carefully. Do we really want to attend? Will the air tickets be too expensive? I think we may not be able to afford the air tickets at all. Jin Pingping was a little hesitant. After all this time, you're still worrying about this. When Jin Pingping's boyfriend heard her say this, he immediately laughed and said, "Look what this is." Jin Pingping looked in the direction of his finger, puzzled. Those were the notes on the back of the invitation, with quite a lot of words. She didn't read them carefully at the time, but now when she looked at them carefully, she realized that it actually said that food, lodging, and round-trip air tickets would be reimbursed. So good. In fact, in the past, the biggest expense would have been on the air tickets. When Jin Pingping heard that the air ticket issue had been resolved, she was no longer worried. Yes, after we attend their wedding, we can also go to the Maldives for some fun. I heard that the sunshine there is particularly good. Jin Pingping's boyfriend immediately made a plan for Jin Pingping. Since the air tickets are reimbursed, it's like we can go to the Maldives without the need for air tickets. Don't you think it's a good deal? Hubby, you are so calculating. What the hell? Reimbursement for food, lodging, and round-trip airfare. Not only Jin Pingping was shocked when she received the invitation. Almost everyone who received the invitation found it incredible. Of course, except for Wang Kong, Jingshan, and their group. Although they thought the invitation was well designed, they had seen good things before, so they were not that shocked. Small things like food, accommodation, and air tickets were not even within their consideration. What they were thinking about was what kind of gift would be best for Su Yuan to give when he got married. This is my friend's wedding. Just take a look at the design of the invitation. After Chi Han received the invitation, although he had been mentally prepared, he was still a little shocked when he saw how luxurious the invitation was. But she quickly and calmly took a photo with the invitation and then posted it on her Moments. What kind of friend, going to a wedding with all-inclusive accommodation and airfare? Is there such a good thing? I also want to attend the wedding of a friend like this. Does anyone have such a friend that you can introduce to me? First time is second time is third time. Han, please introduce your friend to me. Chi Han looked at the reply on her circle of friends and replied with a smile. This is my best friend, so don't try to take advantage of my best friend. However, although you can't meet my best friend, you can treat me to a meal, right? If I become a rich woman in the future, I will definitely not forget you all. Go to hell, you've already bankrupted us before you become a rich woman. After showing off in Moments, Chi Han happily sent a screenshot of Moments to Zhao Qingsu. Qingsu, my Moments are full of you recently. Others show off their food, boyfriends, and travels in Moments, but I only show off my girlfriends in Moments. Zhao Qingsu was helpless. Keep a low profile. Why are you being so low-key? With a best friend as awesome as you, of course I have to walk sideways. The one that walks sideways is a crab. The two chatted for a while, and Zhao Qingsu suddenly seemed to remember something and asked, "By the way, have you received the invitation?" Of course, is that even a question? Then did you see where I got married? In fact, Zhao Qingsu was extremely curious about the wedding venue chosen by Su Yuan, and now she couldn't help but secretly want to ask Chi Han about it. Chi Han hummed twice, want to know. Hurry up and tell me. Brother Yuan told me not to tell you. Chapter 228, the most hateful thing is. Wife, come and see what goodies I brought back for you. While Zhao Qingsu was chatting with Chi Han, Su Yuan came back from outside with Li Guo, who was taking a walk. Zhao Qingsu turned around and saw two snow-white little creatures on Li Guo's golden dog head. This is... She walked forward with great surprise and touched the two little guys. Where did this come from? They were two furry little puppies. They looked a bit like teddy bears, but also a bit like local dogs. But they were very cute. Li Guo picked it up. Su Yuan glanced at the happy Li Guo and said unhappily, "It's not enough to raise you alone. You actually want to pick up two little burdens and bring them back for us to raise." Li Guo seemed to understand what Su Yuan was saying. He lay down with a grunt, put the two puppies on the ground, and then frantically used his nose to push the two puppies towards Zhao Qingsu. The two little puppies were very friendly and played happily around Zhao Qingsu. Su Yuan continued to complain about Li Guo. Originally, after he took Li Guo out for a walk twice, he untied the dog leash and let him move freely when he saw that there was no one around. However, who would have thought that after he walked around twice, the dog disappeared? Wait until he finds Li Guo. One dog became three dogs. The most abominable thing is, Su originally wanted to continue complaining about Li Guo, but before he could finish his words, he saw Li Guo suddenly lie down on his belly. Then she pushed the two little puppies onto her belly. The two little puppies were also very understanding. They started to nudge his belly and finally started to tickle the hair on his belly. Looking at Li Guo's behavior, Zhao Qingsu was stunned. What is he doing? Is she breastfeeding? Can male dogs also breastfeed? The two looked at each other for a while. Afraid that the puppies would be choked by Li Guo's fur, they had no choice but to order goat milk powder and have it delivered, and then make the milk powder for the two puppies. But Li Guo still didn't give up and wanted to feed the two little ones. In the end, Su Yuan had no choice but to hang the two bottles on Li Guo. Seeing the two little puppies drinking milk from Li Guo, Su Yuan began to discuss with Zhao Qingsu. Wife, the wedding venue I chose is a bit far away, and it may be troublesome to move the things there. Zhao Qingsu didn't care. It doesn't matter, how can a wedding be simple? But where? Su Yuan coughed and said, nowhere, I have an idea. After saying that, he picked up his phone and sent a message to Wang Kong, asking him who was selling the private jet. If he remembered correctly, among their group of people, there were people who sold private jets and boats. Private jet? You want to buy a private jet? Wang Kong was immediately excited when he heard this. What kind of private jet are you planning to buy? It doesn't matter what kind of private jet it is. You know I'm getting married soon, and the wedding location is not far away. I have a lot of things to transport there, so I have to buy a private jet to transport the things. After thinking about it, Su Yuan felt that this method was safer. It's impossible to find someone to transport so many things. It's too troublesome. It would be different if you had a private jet. You could just move your things onto the plane and head straight to the island for the wedding. Mr. Su is so generous. This is easy to do. Zhou Heng's family is in charge of this. When are you free? I will help you make an appointment with him. Good. After looking at the time, Su Yuan made an appointment to have dinner with Zhou Heng at 6 o'clock in the evening. Su Yuan didn't want to go too far to eat, so he booked a meal at a nearby Hunan restaurant. This Hunan restaurant is quite famous. When it was time to eat, Su Yuan drove Zhao Qingsu directly to the Hunan restaurant. There were quite a lot of people eating at this time. After Zhao Qingsu saw the name of this Hunan restaurant, she suddenly seemed to remember something. Oh, honey, Hanhen said before that she wanted to eat here. It's a good opportunity for us to come over this time, or why don't we invite her to join us? Zhao Qingsu still had some impression of this Hunan restaurant, mainly because Chi Han was a foodie and liked heavy-flavored foods like hot pot, Hunan cuisine, and spicy hot pot, so she had mentioned it to Zhao Qingsu. However, because the prices in this restaurant are quite expensive, with the average cost per person reaching over 1,000, she has never been willing to come here to eat. Now that she is here, she also thinks of Chi Han. Su Yuan nodded. Okay, anyway, more people just mean more pairs of chopsticks. If you want to call her, just call her. Good. As a big foodie, Chi Han drove over directly after work when she heard that Zhao Qingsu wanted to treat her to a meal. Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu waited at the door for 10 minutes, and then they saw her car appear at the door of the Hunan restaurant. You guys still have a conscience. You think of me for such a good thing, tilde. Chi Han came up and hugged Zhao Qingsu and rubbed her face. Wow, Qingsu, you are the best, tilde. Go, don't even think about kissing my wife. Su Yuan quickly pulled Zhao Qingsu forward. Chi Han kissed nothing and complained. Brother Yuan, you are too stingy, aren't you? It's just a kiss, it won't hurt a piece of flesh. The three of them walked in, talking and laughing. The waiter at the door saw three people coming and asked respectfully, Hello, three of you. Do you have a reservation? Zhao Qingsu told the room number of the reservation. The waiter smiled and took the three people upstairs. Don't mention it, this kind of high-end place is different. Not to mention the pretty waiters, the air here is fresher than other places, tilde. Without exaggeration or understatement, the environment of this Hunan restaurant is very good. The air is filled with fresh floral and fruity scents, without a trace of foreign smells, which makes people feel relaxed and happy. Chi Han secretly talked to Zhao Qingsu as they walked. Yes, otherwise why is the fee so expensive? Speaking of charging, are you sure it's your treat today? Of course. Zhao Qingsu chuckled. Chi Han didn't seem to be a stingy person normally. Why did he ask such a question today? She couldn't help but ask, what's going on with you? Have you become poor recently? Hey, it's because you're getting married. As your best friend, I must prepare a big gift for you. Chi Han counted on his fingers, not knowing what he was counting. Zhao Qingsu quickly said, Han, we have been friends for so many years. I will be very happy with whatever you give me. You don't have to give me anything too expensive. It would be good enough if she could show up on time at her wedding to be her bridesmaid. Chapter 229, of course. You've been so good to me, how could I be careless about your marriage? Well, let's not talk about this anymore. Anyway, you'll know what I'm going to give you when the time comes. Chi Han changed the subject after she finished speaking. She pointed at the backs of the group of people in front and said, The person in front seems familiar. Zhao Qingsu also felt that he looked familiar. It seems to be Hong Yu. He. As soon as Hong Yu was mentioned, Chi Han's face suddenly turned ugly and he wanted to run away quickly. But she was grabbed by Zhao Qingsu. What are you doing? It's been so many years since what happened between you two, it shouldn't be like this. Of course. Chi Han raised his voice subconsciously out of excitement, and then quickly put his finger on his lips. SHH. However, even though she deliberately lowered her voice, Hong Yu in front of her still saw the three of them when he turned around. To be exact, the first person Hong Yu saw was Zhao Qingsu. When he saw Zhao Qingsu, he subconsciously saw Chi Han beside Zhao Qingsu. As alumni of the same university, Hong Yu knew that Zhao Qingsu and Chi Han had a good relationship. The two often went to class and went home together, and were good friends. He didn't expect the three of them to be here. He was stunned for a moment, then took the initiative to greet the three of them. I didn't expect you to be here too. What a coincidence. Zhao Qingsu and Su Yuan smiled at Hong Yu as a greeting. Chi Han, however, looked like a complete coward, lowering his head and not daring to say a word. Hong Yu didn't know why, but his eyes fell on her, and he said meaningfully, Chi Han, I didn't expect that after so long since graduation you are still as shy as before. Since they were talking about him by name, Chi Han had no choice but to look up and say, long time no see. Haha, you can say hello to people now tilde come to think of it. You've become much prettier. I learned to dress up after I entered society. Are you guys here to eat too? My friend and I are here to eat too. We're all alumni, so why don't we eat together? Hong Yu on the other side greeted them warmly. He has always been a very enthusiastic person. What Chi Han liked in the past was his enthusiasm. Zhao Qingsu and Su Yuan looked at each other, feeling a little disappointed with Chi Han, but waved their hands to refuse. Forget it, let's eat by ourselves. We have already booked a private room. Wouldn't it be lively if we all ate together? Your private room happens to be right next to ours. This is fate. Eating here can save you some money. My company has completed a big project today, so I'd like to let you take advantage of it. Hong Yu's smile was still warm. The people behind him also started to make a noise. That's right, isn't it fun for everyone to drink and chat together? It's hard to refuse such a kind invitation. Just then, Su Yuan received a message from Zhou Heng saying that he had something to do and couldn't leave, and might arrive half an hour later, so he went into Hong Yu's box. The 4 or 5 people that Hong Yu brought were all the backbone of his company. It can be seen that everyone trusts him. Come on, order whatever you want to eat today, don't be polite. Hong Yu threw the menu to a few people generously. Don't save money for me. Brother Hong Yids. Brother Hong, don't be disgusted by my eating too much. I really can eat a lot. Today I will let you see how much I can eat. Our brother Hong is very generous. Don't mention it, all the most expensive dishes are arranged. The people below were very excited and kept praising Hong Yu. Zhao Qingsu pushed the menu back and said, I'm just here to sit and chat. When my friends come, I'll go back to my own room. Didn't I tell you not to be polite with me? Just invite your friends over. It's just a matter of having an extra pair of chopsticks. Hong Yu said this openly. Seeing that Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu were wearing and carrying expensive items, he asked, I seem to have heard from a friend that you are getting married. Although after what happened with Chi Han, the few of them completely lost contact, not even on WeChat. However, Zhao Qingsu and Su Yuan's invitations were sent so high profile that Hong Yu still heard some rumors. Su Yuan nodded. Yes, our wedding is about a week away. You two are really good. When you were in school, you were recognized as the golden couple in our school. Now that you have graduated from school, not only have you not been defeated by reality, but you have even walked into the palace of marriage. It's not easy. Hong Yu sighed and asked, are there any difficulties in getting married? I still have some reputation in Shanghai, and I know a few people. If you have any difficulties or problems, please come to me. Thank you, we don't need any help. Zhao Qingsu smiled slightly. You are just too polite to me. Given our friendship, you can call me directly if you have any problem, even if you want to borrow money. After Hong Yu finished speaking, he set his eyes on Chi Han. Come to think of it, Han, I haven't heard from you since graduation. What kind of job are you doing? Chi Han answered calmly. I am a company slave. I can't compare to you who has opened a company and is the boss now. Hey, I'm just a small company. This year's turnover is less than 100 million. Hong Yu waved his hand, his eyes showing some depth. Speaking of which, if you feel that your current company is not good enough, you can come to my company. It just so happens that I am short of a few people in my office. Chi Han was surprised to hear Hong Yu say that. If your office is short of people, just go and recruit them. Isn't it hard to recruit people these days because academic qualifications are too inflated? I hired 3 or 4 people, but I didn't perform well enough for them. mainly because their abilities were not good enough. Hong Yu continued, "If it were you, you would definitely be able to do the job in my company." Zhao Qingsu and Su Yuan both felt that something was not right after listening to the conversation between the two. What does Hong Yu mean? Didn't you avoid Qi Han before? Why is he actively inviting her to work in his company now? Before college, Qi Han had always liked Hong Yu. They were in the same club and were both the backbone of the club. They often organized activities together and even sang love songs together at a party. At that time, Qi Han was deeply in love with him. Every day when she arrived at the dormitory, she would tell her how good and handsome Hong Yu was. It can be seen that she particularly likes Hong Yu. Chapter 230, What do you need? Just tell me. The two of them often go out together. Jiao and Meng are always together. There was a time when everyone thought they were together. Qi Han also felt that Hong Yu liked him. Otherwise, why would he always give all those tasks to him? The only thing that made her anxious was that the two of them had been working together for more than a year, and everyone thought they were together. There was no movement from Hong Yu, so she couldn't wait any longer. After thinking about it, she finally took the initiative and confessed to Hong Yu. However, Hong Yu refused. His original words at the time were, "Qi Han, I know you are a very capable, excellent, and hardworking girl. I am very happy and comfortable working with you, but I have always regarded you as a friend and have no other thoughts. I have a girl I like in my heart." His words made Qi Han feel so ashamed that his heart almost broke. Afterwards, she quickly deleted Hong Yu's contact information and quit the club. Then for at least a whole semester, I just lay in bed every day eating and drinking and doing nothing. I was as decadent as a single-celled organism. Apart from eating, drinking, defecating, and urinating, I didn't care about anything else. Zhao Qingsu saw that she was not doing well, so she forced her to go out for exercise and shopping. After more than half a month, she gradually regained some energy. But later on, she rarely talked about things like love. Although she occasionally said that she was eager to get married, it might be because of Hong Yu. Although she interacted with boys, she felt like there was a layer of separation every time she did so. She couldn't love someone with all her heart. Zhao Qingsu knew that the main reason why she acted like this was because she was afraid that the same result would happen again. Animals and plants have their own protection mechanisms, let alone humans. But it was clearly Hong Yu who rejected Qi Han. Qi Han has put his affairs aside for the past 2 years and has never even mentioned him once. Why did his attitude suddenly change so much? Is it because Qi Han has become more beautiful? Zhao Qingsu took a close look at Qi Han. She did seem to be more beautiful, but her attitude shouldn't have changed so much, right? I'm doing well at work now, and I have no plans to change jobs, so don't waste your breath. Qi Han refused several times, but Hong Yu did not give up. This made her a little impatient, so the tone of his words became cold. Hong Yu didn't mind. I'm just telling you this. If you want to change jobs, you can give me priority, but if you don't want to change, then just ignore what I said today. We are all alumni. If you have nothing to do in the future, you can catch up with us. More friends mean more opportunities. Maybe I will need your help in the future. Aren't you a big boss? Does a big boss still need help from others? Qi Han asked back calmly. Hong Yu chuckled. No one can predict such things. After he said that, he looked at Qi Han and saw that he did seem unhappy, so he shifted his attention to Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu. Is there anything else you need to prepare for your wedding? Su Yuan also said calmly, We have prepared everything except for the last thing. Oh? Hong Yu immediately asked. I'll prepare anything you need, but you must send me an invitation before the time comes. This, I'm afraid you can't prepare for it. Is there anything I can't prepare? I told you not to be polite with me. Just tell me what you need. Hong Yu over there was quite persistent. In fact, Su Yuan didn't want to say it, but Hong Yu kept asking him, and he was a little annoyed. I still need a private jet. As soon as he said this, Hong Yu and everyone present were stunned. Fuck, this is too shameless. Are they here just to take advantage of our brother Hong because he's rich? That's right, and a private jet. Even if our brother Hong can afford it, can they afford it? The few men brought by Hong Yu all lowered their heads and whispered to each other, with disdainful tones and looks in their eyes. Hong Yu didn't think it was a big deal and said, Do you need a private jet? Do you need a private jet for your wedding? Yes, because the place where we are getting married is quite special. It would be more convenient to take a private plane. Su Yuan finished speaking and narrowed his eyes. Why, can you help me with the private jet issue? Hong Yu didn't expect Su Yuan to ask this question in return, and a hint of anger flashed in his eyes. What a private jet! They really know how to pretend. It's just a wedding, but you actually have to use a private jet to get married, as if no one has ever been married. But now that the words have been spoken and his subordinates are watching here, he certainly can't say here that he can't do it. I definitely can't afford it. My small company only makes tens of millions of dollars in profit a year. If I want to buy a crappy private jet, I'll probably have to save up for several years. After he finished speaking, he changed the subject and looked at Su Yuan with a deep look in his eyes. But I do know two people who bought private jets. I have a pretty good relationship with them. If you really need one, how about I call them and book one for you now? Is that so? Thank you very much. After Su Yuan finished speaking, he stretched out his hand, indicating that he could start making the call now. When the employees saw that Hong Yu even knew someone who sold private jets, they immediately felt proud. Our brother Hong is really amazing. He knows everyone. Yeah, if Brother Hong didn't have such a wide network of contacts, how could there be so many people? Brother Hong, when I win 5 million, you will book a private jet for me. Fuck you, kid. How is 5 million enough? Hong Yu is now in a dilemma. He has already installed the force, so he cannot give up halfway. So he can only continue to install the force. He took out his cell phone from his pocket in a serious manner and dialed a number. But after broadcasting for a long time, no one answered the call. I don't know where this guy has been. Maybe he went abroad to play, or maybe he had too much fun in the nightclub and partied all night. Now he hasn't gotten up yet. Putting the phone in his pocket, Hong Yu continued to lie without blushing or beating his heart. Why don't we talk about this later? There's no rush in these few hours anyway. Let's finish the meal first. When the people below saw that Hong Yu failed to get through, although they were a little disappointed, they still found an excuse for him. A big boss like this must be very busy. How can he stay by the phone all the time? Chapter 231. The car overturned. You're right. The big boss makes rapid progress and earns millions of dollars every minute tilde. Seeing Hong Yu like this, Su Yuan did not expose him. He stood up and was about to say goodbye. Okay, we have been talking for so long. My friend should be here soon. I will go back to my box first. You guys can enjoy your meal. Hong Yu had no intention of letting Su Yuan go. Didn't we agree to eat here with us? Are you giving me no face? No. I have already promised to help you with the private jet issue, so I will definitely help you with this. Do you know Zhou Heng? He is a famous shipping magnate. I know him very well. When the time comes, I can ask him to give you a 20% discount. If you want to show off in front of your subordinates, you have to show off completely. Su Yuan was silent for a moment. Before he could say anything, a man poked his head in from the door. The man looked to be in his 40s. As soon as he entered the room, he went straight to Su Yuan and said, Mr. Su, so you are here. I was wondering why I didn't see anyone in our box. Oh, I ran into an old classmate and came over to talk to him for a few words. I see. Zhou Heng glanced at the people in the box and smiled a little deeper. I am late this time. I am very sorry. Fortunately, I don't have anything to do later. Mr. Su, please chat with me first. I will wait for you in the box. Having said that, he said goodbye. He is. For some reason, Hong Yu felt that Zhou Heng looked familiar, as if he had seen him somewhere, so he asked subconsciously. Su Yuan asked back, Didn't you say you knew him very well? Don't you recognize him now? He is Zhou Heng. Hong Yu immediately understood what Su Yuan meant. His expression suddenly turned ugly. When I was bragging, I just wanted to make myself feel good, but I didn't expect that this time I would be wrong. And the car overturned so clearly. Well, I came here with him to have dinner today, and I have something else to talk about, so I won't bother you guys. Su Yuan stood up and was about to leave with Zhao Qingsu and Qi Han. But this time, Hong Yu did not try to keep him. He stared blankly at the backs of Su Yuan and the other two as they left for a full 30 seconds before sitting down. Can you guys finish all the dishes you ordered? You must eat as much as you can tonight. Don't save money for me. Oh yes, let's eat. The subordinates below were also stunned by this sudden scene, and they buried their heads in eating with embarrassed expressions. What? Master Su, Master Kong showed me your photo before. To be honest, I thought it was photoshopped. I didn't expect you to be even more charming than in the photo. After arriving at the box, Su Yuan started chatting with Zhou Heng. Qi Han was responsible for eating hard and occasionally tilted his head to listen to their conversation. Zhao Qingsu sat next to Su Yuan with a smile and chatted with Zhou Heng from time to time. After the greetings were almost over, Zhou Heng asked his assistant to give Su Yuan the things that had been prepared long ago. Those were a few magazines about private jets. Here, there are a full range of private jets of various models. Wife, take a look at what you like. Su Yuan handed the magazine to Zhao Qingsu. After taking a few glances, Zhao Qingsu felt that the prices were outrageous and couldn't make up her mind for a moment. She knew nothing about private jets and didn't know which one would be more cost-effective to buy. She subconsciously pulled Chi-Han, who was eating, and said, "Help me quickly." Chi-Han didn't move at all. "No, I'd better eat. I'm afraid my heart won't be able to bear watching this." As soon as she heard that Zhao Qingsu and Su Yuan were here to buy a private jet, she knew that this matter had nothing to do with her. And she also knew that she might feel unbalanced after seeing this private jet, so she simply turned a blind eye and just sat there quietly eating. Zhao Qingsu had no choice but to put the magazine back in front of Su Yuan. "Honey, I think you should choose it yourself. I really don't know what to choose." Su Yuan was actually quite conflicted. He glanced at the magazine cover and simply clicked on it, not wanting to choose one. "Let's go with this one." Zhou Heng was confused when he saw Su Yuan's attitude, and then he asked, "Mr. Su, you are not kidding me, are you?" "Why am I kidding you about this?" Looking at Zhou Heng's expression, Su Yuan asked, "Is this one not okay?" "Actually, this plane is not bad." Zhou Heng hesitated for a moment before continuing. "It's just that the price of this one is a bit more expensive than the others." "It's just a little more expensive. It doesn't matter. I'll take him." Su Yuan didn't even ask about the price, and just made the decision right away. Zhao Qingsu pushed his arm and asked, "Mr. Zhou, how much does this plane cost?" She just took a quick look at those magazines and found that the prices of private jets ranged from tens of millions to hundreds of millions. After buying so many jewelry, she seemed to think the price was acceptable. "When I think of this," Zhao Qingsu was suddenly startled. Tens of millions to 100 million. She actually didn't think it was expensive. It seems that Su Yuan's pampering during this period has raised her upper limit a lot. If this continues, the price of this private jet is 9.9 billion. Zhou Heng pondered for a moment. Although this private jet is indeed very good due to its special features, not only is the price higher than that of ordinary private jets, but the cost of hosting and maintenance is also several times higher than that of ordinary private jets. 9.9 billion. In fact, many private jets are not as cheap as they seem on the surface, and they give people the impression that they can fly on their own. In fact, the reason why private jets are expensive is not just because of their selling price, but more because of their use and maintenance. Isn't this too exaggerated? Chi-Han, who was concentrating on eating, didn't pay attention. When he heard the price, he was so scared that he dropped the spoon on the table. "I thought I had seen the world, but now it seems that I thought too much." She had been following Zhao Qingsu for a while, and she had also seen the extremely expensive bags and jewelry in Zhao Qingsu's house. At that time, she thought that these things were the ceiling of luxury goods, but now it seems that she thought too much. "Honey, why don't we just forget it and change to a regular one?" Zhao Qingsu was also shocked by the price. "We don't use it often anyway, so we can rent it." She didn't know how much money Su Yuan had, and he had been buying things for her like crazy during this period. She felt that Su Yuan might not be able to afford the plane, but Su Yuan smiled slightly. "That's it." Chapter 232. Mr. Su, what a big deal. Mr. Su is indeed the person introduced by Mr. Kong. He is a big shot. Zhou Heng on the other side didn't expect Su Yuan to be so straightforward. He bought the plane worth 9.9 billion yuan without any hesitation. He was immediately very impressed. But after he finished speaking, he started to calculate the bill for Su Yuan. "Mr. Su, this private jet is expensive, and the hosting fee is also very expensive. The annual hosting fee at the airport is 20 million, and there is another 10 million in maintenance fees. As for the captain and flight attendants, because of the special nature of this plane, their salaries will also be more expensive than the captain and flight attendants. The captain's hourly flying fee is 10,000. By this calculation, the purchase of the aircraft cost 9.9 billion yuan, and the subsequent support was also valuable. So ordinary people will not easily buy something like a private jet, because even if some people can afford to buy it, they can't afford to maintain it. Chi-Han, who was standing next to him, had just picked up the spoon and hadn't had time to wipe it clean before it fell back onto the table. "This is so disappointing." After she finished speaking, she tugged at Zhao Qingsu's sleeve and said, "Qingsu, how about this? Don't keep a plane. It's much cheaper to keep me. It only costs 5,000 yuan a month to provide me with food and shelter." Zhao Qingsu covered her mouth and chuckled. "You spend 5,000 yuan on food every month. Do you think I don't know who you are? Hee, that's cheaper than owning a private jet." While the two were talking, Su Yuan had already booked a private jet. In order to enjoy the pleasure of making money, he booked a private jet in the name of Zhao Qingsu. As soon as the order was successfully placed, a system prompt sounded in my ears. "Ding! Congratulations to the host for donating 9.9 billion to his wife Zhao Qinghua and getting a tenfold rebate of 99 billion. It has been deposited into your account balance. Please check it." Ding! Congratulations to the host for donating $5 to his wife, Zhao Qinghua. This triggers the lucky rebate and rewards you with 1 diamond body tempering. Please check it out. 990 billion. The money earned this time is unprecedentedly large. Combined with the rebates he earned before, he now has hundreds of billions of dollars in his account, not to mention shares in companies like Green Rice and real estate like the Golden Eagle Building. If you take all these into account, he has a net worth of at least hundreds of billions. Moreover, it was not just a matter of money. The most important thing was that this time it actually triggered the diamond body tempering. The body tempering rewarded by the system has already greatly improved his physical fitness. Diamond body tempering sounds amazing. In fact, this system is not honest enough. Why reward the diamond body tempering? Wouldn't it be better to directly reward the golden gun? Maybe he would like it more. Mr. Su, after we finish eating, would you like me to invite you to Fuxu Pavilion to play? Seeing how Su Yuan acted happily today, Zhou Heng had already reserved him as a special big customer in his mind. For such big customers, of course we have to maintain good relationships. After listening to this, Su Yuan smiled slightly and put his arm around Zhao Qingsu's waist. I'm sorry, we are getting married soon, so we are quite busy and may not have time to go out. It's not a big deal, of course the marriage is more important. You two are a perfect match made in heaven. Anyone who drinks your wedding wine will surely be blessed and healthy. I wonder if I will be lucky enough to attend your wedding. Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu would of course welcome someone like Zhou Heng to attend the wedding. Zhao Qingsu nodded. Okay, it's our honor that Mr. Zhou can come to our wedding. I'll have someone send the invitation to you tomorrow. It's settled then, don't break your promise. Certainly. After dinner, the private jet matter was settled, and Su Yuan took Zhao Qingsu out directly. Zhou Heng also followed closely beside him. Although he was almost 50 years old, he was very respectful to Su Yuan, just like he was an elder. Wow, this is the legendary shipping king Zhou Heng. I thought he was so powerful, but I didn't expect him to be so cowardly. Coincidentally, Hong Yu's subordinates in the next private room had just finished their meal and followed behind to see this scene. Hong Yu ate a few bites and then said he had something to do and left. They also knew what happened, so they let him go after saying a few polite words. At the dinner table, they almost had a fight while discussing this matter. I didn't expect that the handsome man actually knew shipping magnate Zhou Heng. At first, they didn't believe that it was Zhou Heng himself. After all, they had only heard of him but had never seen him in person. But after they checked the photo of shipping tycoon Zhou Heng, they found that it was really him. At this moment, perhaps because I was feeling a little unbalanced, someone made a sour comment, but he was hit on the back of his head. What are you talking about here? Words can cause trouble, don't you know? Don't talk nonsense if there is nothing to do. Is he a coward? He knows the situation. I think that Mr. Su is not simple. How complicated can it be? Isn't it just that she looks better? Do you think he's just good looking? Look at what he's wearing and on his hands. Is anything cheap? He's definitely a character, I won't tell you. Even if I tell you, you won't know. What? Hong Yu's subordinates were discussing this side. Chi Han over there also received Hong Yu's friend request. Originally, she didn't want to agree to this friend request, but after thinking about it, she felt that they were classmates and it would be embarrassing to disapprove, so she agreed. Hong Yu on the other side quickly greeted Chi Han. I didn't expect you to agree to be my friend. I didn't expect that, after all these years, you still have my WeChat number. I've worked with you for so long, I'm familiar with everything about you. Chi Han was stunned for a moment when he saw the message from the other party. He didn't know what he was thinking about. He didn't continue to answer the message, but asked, "What do you want to add me for? Is it impossible to add you if there is nothing else?" This sounds like a rogue. Chi Han never knew he would say such things before. After thinking for a moment, she replied, "If there is nothing else, I won't talk to you for now. Don't be so heartless. I just want to ask what's going on with Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu. They seem to be doing pretty well now. A poor person in a busy city has no one to care about him. A rich person in a remote mountain area has distant relatives." This sentence is really good. After hearing him ask this, Chi Han probably understood what he meant. Yes, they are indeed very powerful now, but it has nothing to do with you. We are all classmates, and we haven't seen each other for a long time. How about we find some time to have dinner together? Hong Yu didn't mind Chi Han's coldness at all, and even took the initiative to send him an invitation. Chapter 233, Congratulations, Zuer. Because there were too many things happening in the company in the previous period, Hong Yu really didn't read the news on his mobile phone much, and he really didn't know about what happened between Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu. Otherwise, the embarrassing scene today would not have happened. If he knew that Su Yuan was the chairman of Lumi, He would never be able to brag in front of Su Yuan even if he was given a chance. After returning from the dinner, he checked Su Yuan's background. This investigation is going to be very serious. Su Yuan is actually the chairman of Green Rice Company. What is the concept of Green Rice Company? It is one of the largest companies in the country now. But all the people in his small company added together may not be as many as those in a department of a branch of another company. At first, he was very ashamed of his behavior today, but after feeling ashamed, he went home and thought about it again and felt that something was wrong. Shouldn't we try to win over our schoolmate Su Yuan? Originally, he wanted to send a message to Su Yuan directly, but then he thought about how they were not very close in college and were at most acquaintances. It would be too abrupt to contact him suddenly after not having contacted for such a long time. After thinking about it, he decided to contact Chi-Han first. The fact that Chi-Han can still have dinner with Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu shows that they have a very good relationship. After all, he has had a relationship with Chi-Han before, so it is natural for him to get close to Su Yuan through Chi-Han. Anyway, Chi-Han is a naive person and is easy to deceive. Why do you suddenly want to have dinner with me? Chi-Han always felt that Hong Yu was weird, so he asked without hesitation, "Are you interested in me? Or do you have other purposes? We are all adults now, and she is not as naive as she was in college." She didn't believe that Hong Yu just wanted to treat her to a meal. Hong Yu was speechless for a moment when she asked him this. After a half-minute pause, he said, "What purpose could I have? The main reason is that I have experienced too many intrigues in the past 2 years. When I met you today, I unconsciously remembered the time we spent together in college. At that time, we had just joined the club and were busy with club affairs every day. Although there was no reward, we were very happy every day." After this message was sent, Chi-Han never replied. Hong Yu thought he had said something wrong, and Ray examined the words he had just sent. After he confirmed that there was nothing wrong with this, he added, "I know it's abrupt for me to talk to you like this. If you think it's unnecessary, then forget it." Of course, what he meant by saying this couldn't be that he really just let it go. Retreat to advance. Why did he suddenly become like this? Chi-Han showed the chat history to Zhao Qingsu, then sighed. "Are you lying here to trick a little girl?" She used to like Hong Yu because she thought he was passionate and sincere. At that time, he was busy planning activities for the club every day, organizing event props and soliciting sponsorship. He was as busy as a top and was really doing it for the good of the club. Chi-Han liked him at that time, not only because he was in contact with him a lot every day, but also because he thought he was really good-looking and charming when he worked. But what Hong Yu did today, and what he said to her later when he added her and chatted with her, were completely different people. If you don't know, you might think he has a split personality. This was a little hard for Chi-Han to accept. Why do you feel that he is the one who has changed and not you? Zhao Qingsu glanced at Chi-Han and said, "When you liked him, everything about him was good. Now that you don't like him anymore, of course, everything he does is wrong. You were looking at him with a filter in your eyes at that time. Humph, if you say so. Doesn't Brother Yuan look like Meidu Zixiu plus Qingyan?" Chi-Han complained unhappily. Zhao Qingsu smiled slightly. "You are wrong. I think my husband is good not because of a filter, but because my husband is good in the first place tilde. Hiss. Chi-Han took a deep breath when he heard this. "Oh my God, Qingsu, I find that you have become more and more disgusting recently. If you continue like this, I will not dare to get close to you in the future. I'm inviting you to dinner, but you won't come." Come. Chi-Han chatted with Zhao Qingsu for a few words and actually forgot about Hong Yu. She talked a few more words about Zhao Qingsu's wedding, and finally she and Zhao Qingsu went home. After returning home, Zhao Qingsu found that everything that needed to be prepared before the wedding had been prepared. Because of the preparations for the wedding, she had not done a live broadcast for several days, so she directly started a live broadcast to teach everyone how to do bridal makeup. "Zuer, aren't you a little too anxious? My boyfriend is still in kindergarten." "That's right, I may not be able to use this bridal makeup for decades." "Zuer, tell the truth. What have you been doing during this period of time?" As soon as the live broadcast started, the room was immediately filled with dense comments. Zhao Qingsu smiled sweetly while putting on makeup. "Sorry, I haven't had time to live stream recently. It's not because I'm lazy, but because I have important things to prepare." "What important things are you preparing for? Are you going to give birth to human cubs?" "Zuer, I suggest you think carefully before giving birth to a human cub. This kind of creature is too difficult to raise." "No, Zuer, this time you're teaching bridal makeup. Are you going to prepare for the wedding?" Bingo tilde. Zhao Qingsu nodded. "I didn't expect you to guess it. I have indeed been preparing for the wedding recently. Now I have almost finished the preparations. My wedding will be in a week." Congratulations, Zhu'er. Our Zhu'er will look really good in bridal makeup and wedding dress. Zhu'er, where are you holding your wedding? Can we go and watch? When people heard that Zhao Qingsu was going to have a wedding, they were quite excited and eager to join in the fun. But Zhao Qingsu smiled bitterly. I don't know where I will hold the wedding. This is decided by my husband. Isn't this romance too advanced? When everyone heard that Zhao Qingsu didn't even know where the wedding would be held, they were a little confused. After hesitating for a while, they asked, if you don't even know where your wedding is going to be held, how are you going to get there? My husband told me to go there directly by helicopter when the time comes. Zhao Qingsu actually felt that this kind of wedding was too eye-catching, but when she thought that it was designed by Su Yuan for her, she felt very happy. He thought about it with his heart. Of course she had to cooperate. After all, marriage is a matter between two people, so of course both of them should be happy. Chapter 234, So Warm. Oh my God, Zhu'er, you guys actually have a private jet. After hearing what Zhao Qingsu said, the comments on the barrage immediately exploded. Just get married, why bother making it so Versailles? Yes, my husband spent a lot of money on our wedding this time. I don't know exactly how much, but it must have been expensive. Zhao Qingsu sighed. I told him not to be so extravagant, but he didn't listen. I can't do anything about it. Ah, Zhu'er, please stop talking. What you said makes me want to hit you. Zhu'er, you're going too far. Just show off your affection, but while feeding us dog food, you actually want to brand us as poor. Having a private jet? That would be awesome. When someone below heard about the private jet, he immediately had a bold idea. Others travel around the world in RVs, but if it were him, he would travel around the world in a plane. I sleep on the plane every day and look at the scenery below when I have nothing to do. If I come across any place of interest, I will just stop the plane and get off to play for a while. Even under certain special circumstances, it can catch up with the four seasons. Have a delicious breakfast in a warm place in the morning, pick up autumn leaves at noon, and have a barbecue in a snow-covered place in the afternoon. Such a life is so wonderful just thinking about it. After that person expressed his thoughts, there was a chorus of echoes in the barrage. It's so happy to travel by plane tilde. I'm so looking forward to it. Zhu'er, would you like to consider live streaming this self-driving tour? There will definitely be a lot of people watching. You guys think too much. Do you think a plane is that easy to fly? Looking at the fantastic ideas on the barrage, Zhao Qingsu's mouth curled up slightly. My husband and I don't have a pilot's license, so we must hire a pilot to fly. The captain's salary is calculated per hour, about 10,000 per hour. If he stays on the plane for 24 hours a day, then I have to pay him 240,000 a day, so forget about traveling around the world by plane. Zhu'er, you must be kidding. Is the captain's salary so high? Fuck, Zhu'er, are you still in need of a pilot? I can risk my life to fly. Study hard, I want to be a pilot when I grow up. What? Zhao Qingsu was chatting with the barrage when suddenly, a huge golden head popped out from the side. There are two furry little white balls on the golden head. Seeing that it was Li Guo who came over, Zhao Qingsu chuckled and said, What's the matter with you coming here? Li Guo whimpered twice and pushed the two little white balls on his head towards the camera, his face full of pride. Zhao Qingsu finally figured it out. Li Guo is proud of having a child. When the people on the barrage saw the two soft and sticky little white balls, they also shouted that they were cute and loved them very much. Isn't this Li Guo? Long time no see, so cute tilde. When did Li Guo have a child? Isn't he a eunuch? It's obvious at first glance that these two are not biological children. Is that a bastard? The guy upstairs, please be careful with your words. This is too harsh, isn't it? So you like being a father? What? The comments were filled with people gloating over Li Guo's misfortune. Zhao Qingsu looked back at Li Guo's proud expression, asking for praise. She couldn't bear to hurt him, so she patted his head and said, Li Guo, everyone says your child is so cute. Li Guo obviously understood what Zhao Qingsu said, and happily spun around with the two little white balls and wagged his tail. Su Yuan, who was playing on his phone nearby, glanced at the comments and said casually, Don't be too happy too soon. They all say your child is a bastard. Ow. As if a basin of cold water was poured on its head, Li Guo immediately stopped. It cried pitifully and silently dragged the two little white balls it had picked up to the corner. Zhao Qingsu was helpless. Husband, you clearly know that he understands what we are saying. Why do you still bully him? Su Yuan was also a little dumbfounded. I didn't expect his vocabulary to be so large. Speaking of which, Li Guo is indeed a little too human. Not only can it read people's expressions, but it can also understand what people are saying. Is this kind of dog cultivated? I just don't know if it can read. Our Li Guo is smart. Su Yuan's parents also came down from upstairs. The two of them had already come to Shanghai a long time ago and had been living upstairs for some time. They liked Li Gu very much. After he came, they were responsible for walking the dog and feeding the puppy. After dinner in the evening, the two old people often take their three dogs for a stroll in the garden downstairs. Now everyone in the community almost knows them. As soon as Li Gu saw Su Yuan's mother coming, he immediately felt as if he saw his grandparents. He happily rushed over and cried out to them in grievance, "Ow, ow. Oh, our Li Gu has been wronged, tilde tilde." Su Yuan's mother immediately lowered her head, touched the dog's head, and then took out three beautiful bows from behind. There are three bows, one big and two small. The big one is dark red, and the two smaller ones are pink and blue respectively. "Mom, did you make this for Li Gu and the others? They are so cute, tilde tilde." When Zhao Qingsu saw the three bows, she was extremely surprised and couldn't let go of the bows. "Yes, I saw that a lot of the scraps from making clothes upstairs were good materials. I couldn't bear to throw them away, so I used the scraps to make this for them," Su Yuan's mother muttered as she put a big bow around Li Gu's neck. Look at Li Gu shaking his head happily. Su Yuan's mother was also very happy. "Our Li Gu is smart. Remember to be serious when you go out in the future. Don't be sloppy. Look at Dame next door. She dresses up every day when she goes out." "Ouch. What? So warm, Wu. Is this grandma? I miss my grandma. My grandma has always been so kind to me." The people on the barrage were all extremely envious of this scene. In fact, most of the people watching the live broadcast are wandering outside, either studying or looking for a way out. All were thousands of miles away from home. Seeing Su Yuan's mother's kind smile, they all thought of their grandmother who was waiting eagerly for them back home. "Li Gu is so cute, what should I do? Seeing her makes me want to get a dog too." "Don't keep one. I have personally experienced that other people's dogs are the best, while your own dog is just a fool." "I couldn't agree more. Our dog is chewing my slippers right now. I really want to hit him to death with my slippers." Chapter 235, What a Little Bastard. There was only a week left until the wedding, and because Zhao Qingsu's mother had not agreed with the two children being together, there had been some unpleasantness between the parents of both sides. The time when Su Yuan's parents came to Shanghai, in order not to cause trouble for the two elders, Su Yuan discussed it with Zhao Qingsu and decided not to let the two elders go to meet Zhao Qingsu's parents. But the parents of both parties have to attend the wedding this time, so even if they don't want the parents of both parties to meet, they have to meet each other, because Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu discussed that they should let them meet in advance to build relationships and avoid being angry with each other. After the two reached a consensus, Zhao Qingsu pushed Su Yuan out and said, "Go tell our parents about the meeting, and I'll go give my mother a shot. It's easy for me, but can you handle it on your side?" Looking at Zhao Qingsu, Su Yuan was also a little worried. Zhao Qingsu is undoubtedly a good girl, but her mother is indeed a tough nut to crack. Patting his chest, Zhao Qingsu had a confident expression and said, "Don't worry, I can definitely handle my mother's situation this time. You know what kind of person my mother is." When she said this, she sighed slightly. Although it is not nice to say bad things about her mother is really a person who takes advantage of others. She is materialistic and vain. However, no matter how many shortcomings she has, she is still her biological mother. Before, Su Yuan had no money, and she looked down on him. But now that Su Yuan is rich, she definitely won't maintain her previous attitude. "Well, as long as you can handle it, if you can't, just tell me." Su Yuan nodded, turned, and went upstairs. Su Yuan's parents were sitting on the sofa upstairs watching TV. When they saw Su Yuan coming, they asked, "It's so late. Why are you coming to our place instead of staying at home with your wife?" "Dad, Mom, this is the case. I have something I want to tell you." Su Yuan sat down and considered his words. "You see, Qingsu and I are about to get married. How about picking a time for you to meet Qingsu's parents?" "Okay. What's the problem?" "No." Su Yuan's mother has always been a cheerful and generous person, and she is also good to Zhao Qingsu. But there is one thing she dislikes, Zhao Qingsu's mother. She really dislikes people like Zhao Qingsu's mother, and generally she will not associate with them if she meets one. But her son liked the other girl, so for her son's sake, she took the initiative to call Zhao Qingsu's mother. Originally, she wanted to discuss the dowry for the two children, but Zhao Qingsu's mother belittled Su Yuan on the phone, which made her unusually angry. She is the only one in the world who can say bad things about her son. "Who do you think you are? Is it your turn to look down on my son?" She was extremely angry at the time, so angry that she wanted to call Su Yuan and ask him to break up with Zhao Qingsu. But later, seeing how much Su Yuan liked Zhao Qingsu, and that Zhao Qingsu was well-behaved, gentle, and beautiful, a good child, She finally softened her heart and did not say anything against it. After the two children got their marriage certificate, she was surprised but did not say anything. But Zhao Qingsu's mother was a hurdle in her heart that she could not get over. So when she came to Shanghai for the first time, since both children had obtained their marriage certificate, she should have taken the initiative to contact Zhao Qingsu's parents. However, because she was feeling angry at the time, she ultimately did not go. At this moment, even if Su Yuan said it in person, she still disagreed. Su Yuan approached his mother in a flattering manner, patted her legs, and then glanced at her silk pajamas. "Mom, are you comfortable in this dress?" "Well, then what? You may not know that the pajamas you and my dad wear are couple styles. They are made of fine materials that Qingsu personally selected and then made according to your sizes. It took a lot of effort. No matter how much you say I won't agree, this is just not possible." Su Yuan's mother glanced at Su Yuan and said, "I have been your mother for so many years, don't you know me well? I usually don't hold grudges, but if I do, I will remember them for the rest of my life." Su Yuan's father interrupted. "Hey, I can prove this. When your mom was pregnant with Yiao, she wanted to eat cherries. I bought 2 kilograms for your mom, but I secretly ate 2 of them while washing the cherries, which made her not eat them to her heart's content. After that, she really never gave any cherries to me, your dad, to eat." "Dad, do you dare to say that you only stole 2? Su Yuan didn't quite believe that his mother was so stingy. She must have stolen a lot of food. Su Yuan's father looked at Su Yuan's suspicious eyes, stared at him and sighed. "What a little bastard. He didn't eat any of the cherries at that time. I gave them all to him when I picked him up from school. The little bastard was very happy eating them at that time, but forgot about them when he grew up. It turns out that a child born this way will turn out to be an ungrateful one. Mom, what do you have to do to get me to meet Qingsu's parents?" Su Yuan hesitated for a moment. "How about this? If you agree, I'll do whatever you say later." "Humph, you were supposed to listen to me." "Mom, well, it's not impossible for me to go, but you have to ask her to apologize to me for what she said before." Su Yuan's mother made the request slowly. Su Yuan thought about it for a while and said, "Okay, it's settled then." "What? Mom, what are you doing?" While Su Yuan was discussing with his parents, Zhao Qingsu also called her mother. Zhao Qingsu's mother quickly answered the phone. "What else can you do? You're chatting with some uncles and aunts in the community." She spoke in a cheerful tone, and it was obvious that she was very proud because her daughter had married well. She also showed the invitation to people in the community, making them extremely envious of her. "I see. Are you free now? I have something I want to discuss with you." "Girl, if you have anything to say, just say it directly." "It's like this, Mom. Aren't my husband's parents coming to Shanghai? Anyway, you're going to meet at the wedding next week, so why not get to know them in advance? I want to invite you to have dinner with them. What do you think?" Zhao Qingsu considered her words carefully and said, "Mom, if you meet them later, please be careful when you speak and don't use too harsh a tone." "What's wrong with the way I talk? Don't I usually talk like this?" "Mom, all right, all right." Zhao Qingsu's mother hesitated for a moment. "It's not that I don't want to meet them, but I don't know what they think in their hearts. I'm afraid they will be unhappy if I go there." Chapter 236. What? Apologize? "Mom, we're just having a meal together. Why would they be unhappy if you went over there?" Zhao Qingsu asked with some confusion. After struggling for 10 seconds, Zhao Qingsu's mother finally told the truth. Su Yuan's mother had approached her to discuss the wedding, but she was quite emotional that time. "What?" After hearing what her mother said, Zhao Qingsu's mind went blank for a second. "Mom, what you said at that time was too harsh, wasn't it? How could you say such things? You actually said that about my husband. If someone else said that to me, would you be happy?" I was just emotional at the time, and I regretted it later." Zhao Qingsu's mother felt guilty for a rare moment, but she quickly regained her composure and said, "Isn't it just a few words to him? He didn't lose a piece of flesh. Besides, it's been so long since the incident happened. You don't have to keep holding on to it, right?" Zhao Qingsu was so angry when she heard her mother's forced excuses. She took a deep breath and said to her mother seriously, "Mom, you have seen how good my husband is. And after interacting with my parents-in-law for some time, I can also feel that they are very good people and treat me very well. What you said to my mother-in-law before was really too much. I ask you to apologize to my mother-in-law." At the beginning, Zhao Qingsu's mother had always been against her marriage with Su Yuan. She thought that the two parents had no contact, but she didn't expect that her mother had talked to Su Yuan's mother on the phone in advance, and what her mother said was so unpleasant. If she heard those words, she would explode. Not to mention Su Yuan's mother. Putting herself in her shoes, even if this was done by her parents, she really couldn't pretend that it never happened. She didn't know about this before. Now that she knows, she must give an explanation to Su Yuan's mother. What, an apology? Zhao Qingsu's mother thought she had misheard. Why should I apologize? I know what I said was unpleasant to hear, but there's no need to apologize to her specifically, right? That would be so embarrassing for me. So you think everyone is shameless, and you are the only one who has dignity. Zhao Qingsu bit her lip and said, Mom, if you don't apologize, then my wedding won't take place. Hey kid, what are you doing? When Zhao Qingsu's mother heard that she was canceling her wedding because of this matter, she immediately became anxious. Don't joke about your own wedding. The invitations have been sent out, and I have also notified relatives and friends. You suddenly want to cancel the wedding, and everyone thinks something happened between you and Su Yuan. Mom, do you feel embarrassed to cancel the wedding so suddenly? Seeing that Zhao Qingsu's tone was not right, Zhao Qingsu's mother became anxious. Qingsu, why did you suddenly become so stubborn today? You don't need to apologize for the things I said, you just don't need to apologize. Just listen to me on this matter, your mother will not do anything wrong. Mom, I have listened to you in almost everything since I was a child. The only thing I did against you was probably marrying Su Yuan despite your objection. Zhao Qingsu continued, the second thing I have to do against you is that if you don't apologize, I really won't hold the wedding. Because I would feel sorry for my husband and my mother-in-law. As she spoke, Zhao Qingsu couldn't help but choked up. Su Yuan and Su Yuan's mother were so good to her, but she let them suffer because of her weakness. It's her responsibility. What's wrong with you, kid? Mom, please think it over carefully before calling me again. After Zhao Qingsu finished speaking, she hung up the phone. Not long after, the door was pushed open. Su Yuan walked in from outside. Qingsu, I just talked to my mother. Something happened. My mother said, what's wrong with you? Su Yuan was halfway through his speech when he noticed that Zhao Qingsu looked unhappy. He also suddenly realized why. What are you doing? Helplessly walking forward, Su Yuan gently hugged Zhao Qingsu into his arms. Don't cry. We are going to have a wedding. If you cry and your eyes are swollen, how can you take pictures? But my mother's. I already know about the feud between your mom and my mom. It's not a big deal. My mom said that as long as your mom apologizes, she will forgive you. Su Yuan said this and suddenly sighed with some sadness. But your mother is also a big baby. It may not be so easy to get her to apologize. I told my mom to apologize, or I'll cancel the wedding. Zhao Qingsu quickly said, Husband, I really didn't know about this before, I'm sorry. Silly girl, what's there to be sorry about? And you're so brave to say that. Cancel the wedding just like that. Then I don't know what to do just now. It's okay, just watch me. Su Yuan held Zhao Qingsu in his arms and wiped her tears. Then he held his chin and thought for a while. Your parents have lived in that house for a long time, right? What do you mean? Zhao Qingsu looked at her in confusion. Go and tell her that if the two families can get along, then the dowry I'll give you is a 4-bedroom apartment. If not, I'll give you 200,000 yuan according to the market price as a token of my appreciation. This means that Zhao Qingsu should go and get the house and negotiate terms with Zhao Qingsu's mother. If this happened to Su Yuan's mother, she would definitely not accept this condition even if she had no house to live in for the rest of her life. But Zhao Qingsu's mother is different. For the sake of the house, she will definitely give in. Only, Zhao Qingsu lowered her head and said, Husband, is it really okay for you to always spend so much money? The 4-bedroom apartment here is not cheap. What's the big deal? I'm just saying this. I was planning to exchange houses for your parents and my parents after we got married. Now that they are so rich, of course it is impossible for them to let both sets of parents live in their old house. Su Yuan had originally planned to buy a house for his parents, but they disagreed and he didn't have any better options at the time, so he didn't buy it for the time being. However, when he had some free time during this period, he took a look at the house in his hometown. A new villa complex was about to be developed near their community. The environment was good, and it was a small, single-family villa, which was very comfortable for 2 people to live in. He planned to buy one for each of his 2 elders. In addition, we will also buy an apartment for our parents in the large, flat community, where they live now, so that they can live there when they come to Shanghai. Of course, when it comes to buying a house, we cannot favor one over the other. It's time for Zhao Qingsu to change her house. What good can come from chapter 237? Sure enough, Zhao Qingsu told her mother about the house. Zhao Qingsu's mother's eyes lit up immediately, and she quickly asked Zhao Qingsu, Is what you said true? You are not lying to me, are you? Mom, of course what I said is true. Then it's not impossible to apologize. As soon as Zhao Qingsu's mother finished speaking, Zhao Qingsu's father next to her couldn't help but glance at her, then sighed silently without saying anything. After happily hanging up Zhao Qingsu's phone, Zhao Qingsu's mother sat down next to Zhao Qingsu's father and said, Old man, guess what good news is coming next? What good can it be? Our son-in-law wants to buy us a house. He says it's a dowry for our daughter. I have to choose carefully. Zhao Qingsu's father sighed helplessly. We have lived in this house for so many years, isn't it good? When Qingsu was in school, you had a reason to buy a house in the school district, but now the children have graduated from college and got married. Why do you want to live in such a nice house? Don't we still have our grandson? Does your grandson need your care? This question stumped Zhao Qingsu's mother. She hesitated for a moment and said, I don't care. I want to keep the house anyway. After hearing what she said, Zhao Qingsu's father shook his head and said nothing. After a while, he got up and went to the study. After he made some operations, he transferred 200,000 yuan to Zhao Qingsu. Zhao Qingsu was shocked when she received the money. Dad, what are you doing? I didn't do anything. Yuan is good to you, so you should return the favor. It's up to you to decide what to buy for him. Dad, where did you get the money? Zhao Qingsu remembered that the financial power of the family was in the hands of her mother. This is the private savings of your father. If I really don't have any money at all, do you think those snacks I secretly bought for you when you were a child fell from the sky? Hearing what her father said, Zhao Qingsu burst out laughing. Dad, I didn't expect you to have saved so much money secretly. I thought your money was only enough to buy me some snacks. What's the big deal? I've saved this private money for decades. Zhao Qingsu's father sighed. I used to save money to buy books and wine, but after saving the money, I went to the bookstore and saw that the books were so expensive, so I couldn't bear to buy them. Unconsciously, I saved it for him over the years. Zhao Qingsu laughed so hard that tears almost came out. She had never known that her father saved some private money. But when she thought that this was her father's old money, she returned it and said, Dad, you should use this money for yourself. I have enough money in my hand now. After hesitating for a while, Zhao Qingsu's father seemed to be hesitant to speak. Zhao Qingsu asked, Dad, are you trying to tell me not to tell my mom about this? Don't worry, I definitely won't tell my mom about this. How can you talk like that, kid? Am I that kind of person? What I actually want to say is... After hesitating for a while, Zhao Qingsu's father's voice softened. I actually just want to say that your mother has some shortcomings, but she still loves you very much. Don't take the things she did to heart. I know your mother is mercenary, but if you are born without worries, who would want to be mercenary? Actually, your mother wasn't like this before. The reason she became like this was because of the illness you had when you were over 2 years old. You were lying in the hospital at the time, and we spent all our savings, but it was still not enough. Later, we asked friends to scrape together money, and finally we managed to collect the 6,000 yuan for your treatment. Later, Zhao Qingsu recovered, but she still had to repay the debt she owed. In the past, Zhao Qingsu's mother was very beautiful, and her parents loved her very much. They were not too strict with her when it came to spending money. But starting from the time Zhao Qingsu fell seriously ill, she slowly learned how to bargain in the vegetable market, how to buy discounted out-of-season clothes, and how to spend $1 in half. At the beginning, she opposed Zhao Qingsu's marriage to Su Yuan. Although he felt that her behavior was problematic, he did not dare to blame her too much. After all, if one wasn't afraid of being poor, one wouldn't be so snobbish. Dad, I understand. Hearing what her father said, Zhao Qingsu nodded. Don't worry, but no matter what she does, she is still my mother, and this will not change. I knew you were a sensible child. Since it was decided that the two parents would meet, Su Yuan booked a restaurant that served good home-cooked meals the next day and invited both parents over. Su Yuan's parents went with Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu and arrived early. What's wrong? Because Zhao Qingsu's parents had not arrived yet, everyone was waiting and did not order any food. Su Yuan saw that Zhao Qingsu was always uneasy while sitting there and couldn't help but ask a question. Zhao Qingsu shook her head and whispered, It's okay. Don't worry, leave it to me. Su Yuan knew what she was worried about, so he pinched her hand under the table. He then discovered that her palms were full of sweat, and he couldn't help but laugh. Little girl, they have been married for so long. Isn't it natural for the parents of the two families to meet? How come it's like a blind date? Not long after, Zhao Qingsu's parents arrived at the box at the agreed time. As soon as the two entered the door, Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu stood up. Zhao Qingsu's father motioned for the two to sit down, and he greeted Su Yuan's parents with a smile. Father-in-law and mother-in-law, are you two getting used to your stay in the Magic City these past few days? Su Yuan's father nodded. Yeah, he's adapting well. After saying that, he bumped into Su Yuan's mother, who had been silent beside him. Su Yuan's mother pretended not to understand what he meant and elbowed him back again. This made Su Yuan's father very helpless. The atmosphere was a little tense for a moment. Zhao Qingsu's father sighed, pulled Zhao Qingsu's mother to sit down, and asked her in a low voice, What did you tell me yesterday? You don't plan to take the house today. Hearing what he said, Zhao Qingsu's mother reluctantly turned around and approached Su Yuan's mother. What I said on the phone before was indeed too much, but those were just some angry words I said. Don't take my words to heart. I'm here to apologize to you. After saying that, he took the initiative to pour a cup of tea for Su Yuan's mother. After hearing what she said, Su Yuan's mother's expression softened a little. Then this matter is over. After all, she is the mother-in-law, and the two children are as close as honey. It is impossible for the adults to still be quarreling here, right? Okay, come, let's eat. Seeing that the two had reconciled, Su Yuan smiled and handed them the menu. All the home-cooked dishes in this restaurant are very authentic. Order whatever you like. Chapter 238. So handsome, my ideal type. Su Yuan's parents and Zhao Qingsu's parents both said that it didn't matter what they ate, and none of them had any food to booze. So in the end, it was Zhao Qingsu and Su Yuan who decided to order 6 home-cooked dishes. After that, we just chatted and talked about family matters, and it was quite harmonious. When Zhao Qingsu saw this scene, she secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Su Yuan blinked at her. Isn't the problem solved? Why worry so much? Zhao Qingsu gently pushed him and said, Isn't it because I'm afraid of complications? She knows her own mother's mouth. He was quite good this time and didn't say anything unpleasant. I was really afraid that the two of them would fight. The palms and backs of your hands are all made of flesh. You can't help anyone. She finally understood how troubled her mother was when she and her cousin had a fight when she was a child. After the parents of the two families met formally, the issue of the bride price and dowry was decided by Zhao Qingsu and Su Yuan. So neither side got involved, and there were no conflicts afterwards. A week passed quickly, and in the blink of an eye it was 2 days before the wedding. Su Yuan found a moving company and transported all the things and jewelry that Zhao Qingsu needed to the airport. The airport staff were also very considerate and directly sent more than a dozen flight attendants to help with moving things. Wow, there are so many things. I can tell I'm cheap when I see the boxes of these things. Isn't that nonsense? People who can afford a private jet like that would use cheap stuff. I just saw wedding dresses and suits among the items being delivered. Are you planning to get married? Several flight attendants were chatting in low voices while moving things. Need I explain these things? They must be for the wedding. This wedding is too luxurious. Yes, I think the design of that wedding dress is super beautiful. I've been to wedding dress shops before, but I've never seen such a beautiful design. Then I guess they asked a foreign wedding dress designer to customize it. The tone of several people was full of envy and longing, and they began to fantasize as they stared at those things. I wish they could also meet a man who is so rich and treats them well. Although it is easy for people in their line of work to come into contact with wealthy people, there are actually many disadvantages. Some rich people are superficially wealthy. Although they are generous, they are actually in debt. 2 or 3 stewardesses found out that their husbands were deadbeats after they got married. Some wealthy men already have families. To put it bluntly, they hook up with flight attendants just to have a little cheating on them. After they have eaten, they just wipe their mouths and leave. They leave nothing behind except bags and jewelry, and they also have to risk being in trouble with their wives. Why are you guys talking so much? Just do your work. As soon as they boarded the plane, they saw that the owner had already taken his seat in the living room inside the private plane. The manager of their airline was personally chatting with them, and when he heard a few people gossiping, he scolded them. A few people nodded and didn't dare to say anything more, but they still secretly glanced over there a few times. This one glimpse is incredible. Damn, the host and hostess of this private jet are so damn good-looking. As flight attendants, they are surrounded by beautiful women and handsome men. They may not even be interested in ordinary celebrity stars, but this couple really amazed them. Not only is the woman beautiful and elegant, the man is also young, handsome, and elegant. They have been working on the plane for so long. It's really rare to see such a beautiful couple. Oh, did you see that guy? He's so handsome, my God, he's definitely my ideal type. Although they didn't dare to speak on the plane, they couldn't stop talking after getting off the plane. Several flight attendants gathered together, all admiring Su Yuan's looks. Have you never seen a handsome guy or what? I don't think he's as handsome as me. A flight attendant next to him came over and stroked his hair. Look for a handsome guy. I'm not only handsome, but also very good at sex. Go to hell. One of the flight attendants laughed and scolded. Do you think we are simply praising him for being handsome? Besides being handsome, he also has a private jet. What's a private jet? When I'm reborn as the son of the richest man in my next life, that won't take long. Then come find us when you become the son of the richest man. After some joking and envy, the few of them started to do their own work quietly. People who have such conditions are lucky, so they should just work honestly. Only, you say, if you get this kind of man, you won't lose anything, right? The stewardess who was speaking was called Xiao Wen. She had just graduated and relied on her good looks to hook up with many people. She fits the impression that most people have of a flight attendant, with a rather messy private life. He also likes to be lazy when doing work. For example, this time, when they were asked to move things, she said she wanted to go to the bathroom before she even started, and then she played with her cell phone for 10 minutes in the bathroom. When she came back, she heard several people gossiping. She didn't think it was a big deal at first, but after she went to see Su Yuan in person, she became interested. Like Su Yuan, the other flight attendants subconsciously did not dare to get involved and just secretly fantasized about him behind her back. But she was bold and immediately set her sights on Su Yuan. Zhao Qingsu is so beautiful, but she has no intention of getting promoted. She just wants to get some benefits by being with Su Yuan. After all, she is a person who wants to make benefits from men. It is better to make money from such a handsome guy than from those old and ugly ones. It is simply making a fortune. Xiao Wen, I don't think Mr. Su is that kind of person. The other flight attendants took one look at Xiao Wen and knew what she was thinking, and subconsciously tried to persuade her. However, Xiao Wen did not take what those people said to heart. After tidying up her hair and putting on some makeup, she slowly picked up a small box and walked towards the private plane. The other flight attendants didn't know what to say when they saw her like this, and just shook their heads helplessly. Soon, Xiao Wen found an opportunity. After she put down the box in her hand, she lingered on the plane for a while, and then she saw Su Yuan stand up, say something to Zhao Qingsu, and then walk towards the kitchen. Xiao Wen was delighted and walked towards the kitchen. "What are you doing?" When Xiao Wen entered the kitchen, she saw Su Yuan taking out 2 pomegranates from the refrigerator and peeling them bit by bit. Noticing someone coming in, Su Yuan subconsciously turned around and asked. Chapter 239, A Really Straight Man. Working with a group of good-looking flight attendants every day, Xiao Wen is actually immune to handsome guys. But for some reason, when she was stared at by Su Yuan's clear, gentle, and unusually bright eyes, she suddenly became a little nervous, and her heartbeat unconsciously skipped a beat. I accidentally went to the wrong place. Xiao Wen made up an excuse casually. Sorry, this is my first time here. This private plane is too big and there are too many rooms, so I went to the wrong place. Although the space of a private jet is indeed very large, comparable to the 4-bedroom and 1 living room of an ordinary family, and it also has a kitchen, bedroom, and living room, it is not enough to get lost, right? Besides, where things should be placed has already been said. Su Yuan could see through her ill intentions at a glance. What are you doing? Peeling pomegranates. How can I trouble you with such a thing? How about I do it? Xiao Wen naturally ignored what had happened before, walked towards Su Yuan, and tried to snatch the pomegranate from his hand. However, Su Yuan took a step back and frowned slightly. Get out. Xiao Wen didn't expect Su Yuan to be so serious and very defensive towards her. She couldn't help but feel a little aggrieved, and her eyes were innocent and pitiful like a little deer. I just want to help you. I don't mean anything else. If what I do makes you feel troubled, then I will leave now. After saying that, he walked outside. Originally, she was pretending to leave, but Su Yuan over there really didn't try to keep him. After she walked a few steps to the kitchen for almost a minute, she came out reluctantly when she saw that Su Yuan really had no intention of calling her. What a blockhead, a straight man of steel. She was complaining madly in her heart, feeling extremely uncomfortable at the thought of how she had been humiliated. She did not notice that the manager had a strange look in his eyes when he looked at her coming out of the kitchen. After she left, Su Yuan came out with half a bowl of pomegranate seeds. He placed the pomegranate seeds in front of Zhao Qingsu and casually asked the manager sitting next to him, "What's the name of the person who just came out of the kitchen?" The manager observed Su Yuan's expression, then looked at Zhao Qingsu, feeling uneasy. Could it be that this ancestor has taken a fancy to Xiao Wen? As a superior, although he is different from his subordinates and does not interact with them often, he can still clearly see who is who. He also knew that Xiao Wen was restless. I just didn't expect Xiao Wen to be so bold that she even dared to reach out to Su Yuan. Her name is Xiao Wen. The manager hesitated for a moment, but still said her name. After saying that, he secretly observed Zhao Qingsu's reaction. Zhao Qingsu was eating the pomegranate seeds in front of her, and asked him with a smile if he wanted to eat some too. Could this Madame Su be a naive person? Her husband even asked for the name of another beautiful woman, but she was not at all troubled. Even if she is naive, isn't she a little too naive? But he changed his mind and felt that it was true. A wealthy family like this would marry a sweet and innocent woman. If you marry a powerful wife, how could you cheat on her? Open it now. Just when the manager was secretly complaining about Zhao Qingsu, Su Yuan's next sentence stunned the manager. But he reacted quickly, and cold sweat suddenly seeped from his forehead to his forehead. He nodded quickly. Okay, Mr. Su, this is my fault. Fine. Su Yuan waved his hand. It's just that I think we still have a long time to cooperate in the future, and I hope that something like this won't happen again. No, I promise. The manager quickly made a promise, then found an excuse to leave and went to find Xiao Wen angrily. After finding Xiao Wen, he threw the printed resignation letter in front of her and said, "Sign it and you can leave." This, Xiao Wen was stunned for a moment, then asked angrily, "Why? What did I do wrong? Why did the company fire me for no reason? Don't you know what you have done?" The manager slapped the table and said, "Our temple is too small to accommodate a giant Buddha like you." But the manager, "You'll have to take care of yourself." The manager ignored him and left on his own. Xiao Wen, holding the resignation letter in her hand, bit her lips, and a sinister look flashed in her eyes. But she quickly walked out with her resignation letter in hand. Hey, I was just hooked up. After watching the manager leave and the flight attendants and staff still moving things, Su Yuan disliked the noisy living room, so he pulled Zhao Qingsu to the bedroom. I have to say, the design of this plane is really thoughtful. The big bed in the bedroom is extremely soft, and there is a whole wall of windows next to the bed. When the plane is flying through the clouds, if you sleep in the bed, it feels like you can touch the clouds with your hand. Zhao Qingsu was observing the bedroom carefully. After listening to Su Yuan's words, she thought for a while, "By that stewardess." Yeah. Su Yuan hugged her waist from behind as if to take credit. "Look, she is so beautiful with such a good figure and a nice voice." But I don't think any of them can compare to you, even a 10,000th of you." Su Yuan continued, "So I'll have her fired, how about that? I love you, right? What the hell, I didn't do anything, why did you fire me? Isn't this too much?" Zhao Qingsu frowned, "Don't do this next time." Su Yuan raised an eyebrow, "Are you serious?" Zhao Qingsu nodded, "Yes, really." "Well, I'll call her back now and let her live in our house as our nanny. You don't mind anyway." After Su Yuan finished speaking, he actually walked outside. But just as he reached the door, two soft and white arms grabbed his waist. Looking at those two white and tender arms, Su Yuan's smile deepened, but he did not spare Zhao Qingsu. "What are you doing? Anyway, you don't mind." "Opened." "I don't." Burying her head on Su Yuan's broad back, Zhao Qingsu said in a muffled voice, "Okay, I mind a lot. I mind very much." "That's not what you said just now, tilde. Can't you tell that what I just said was a sarcastic remark?" Zhao Qingsu snorted and whispered, "Then I have to show my generosity in front of you. Your heart is as small as the tip of a needle, and you are generous." Su Yuan laughed out loud, turned around and pressed her under him, whispering, "Is the bed here soft enough?" Chapter 240, When Will You Get Married? After all the things were loaded onto the plane, it was time to set off the next day. The rest of the people will buy their own plane tickets, and the airfare will be reimbursed when the time comes. Qi Han, Jing Tian, and their parents went there directly by private plane. Wow, I never thought in my life that one day I would be able to ride on a private jet. Although Qi Han had known for a long time that Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu had bought a private jet, buying it is one thing, and actually sitting on it is another. She looked at the escalator that had fallen from the plane, stepped on it carefully, and her face was full of heartache. "Tell me, if I go down with my high heels and poke a hole in this staircase, how much will I have to pay?" Su Yuan was stunned by her imagination. "If you can make a hole in the escalator of an airplane with just your high heels, not only will I not let you lose money, I will also invest tens of millions in you and form a sports team for you. You can just go and participate in the competitions in the future." Brother Yuan, what you said really offended me. It was impossible to tell what material the escalator was made of. While Qi Han was talking, he stomped his feet lightly twice and found that it was quite sturdy. "Qingsu, your Su Yuan is so good to you. This private jet doesn't look cheap, does it?" Although Jing Tian knew about buying a private jet, he didn't know the exact price. He thought it was at the level of a helicopter. "I didn't expect it to be such a big private jet, and it is decorated so luxuriously that you can even hold a party in it." "The price is acceptable." Su Yuan didn't mention the price and continued to walk up with his mother. "Mom, I saw that you didn't sleep well last night. What happened?" When Su Yuan woke up in the morning, he found that his mother seemed to have insomnia. Su Yuan's father next to him interrupted, "What can she do? Yesterday you said you were getting married and she couldn't sleep. Just tell me why she is worrying so much. It's you who are getting married, not her." I'm worried that the food has been so good these past 2 days that I've gained weight and won't look good at the wedding. Aren't there apples for you to eat? You don't eat them yourself. Then I'm not afraid that eating too much of that kind of thing will be harmful to the body. Su Yuan's mother came to Shanghai in advance just for the slimming apples. But after she ate 2 and lost 10 pounds, she refused to eat them again. It wasn't that she had any health problems, but she just felt that the apples were too effective, and she was afraid that there were some hidden dangers in them. Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu explained to her, but she refused to listen, and there was nothing they could do. During this period of time at home, Zhao Qingsu was the one cooking, making a lot of different kinds of fish and shrimps every day. She always felt that she had gained a lot of weight by eating too much. When the topic of weight loss apples was brought up, Jing Tian immediately hugged Zhao Qingsu and started to act coquettishly. Zuer, did you pick some apples to bring with you this time? This is your wedding, Tilda. I definitely can't go on a diet at your wedding, right? But I can't get fat. I don't care, you have to give me free apples to eat. Su Yuan previously stipulated that only people who go to the farmhouse can pick apples to eat, and they cannot be taken away. It is impossible for Jing Tian to do nothing and go to the farmhouse to play every day, so as soon as she left the farmhouse, she started her dieting mode again. She felt that she was being tortured during this period. Now I am hoping to have a chance to eat an apple at Zhao Qingsu's wedding. Zhao Qingsu patted her hands. Yes, yes. That's great, Zuer. Zuer, I want one too. Qi Han also came over. Zhao Qingsu was helpless. Don't worry, everyone has one. Several people got on the plane quickly. The plane also took off at the agreed time. 5 hours later, the plane landed at the Maldives airport. Of course, the people at the Maldives airport had already received the dispatch news a long time ago. So as soon as the plane landed, dozens of flight attendants were already waiting under the plane. The person in charge of the airport personally welcomed the group. Mr. Su, you must be tired after sitting on the plane for such a long time. I have already prepared a lounge for you. There is also some food in the lounge. I wonder if you would like to go over and rest for a while. A few of us just chatted and played games on the plane and arrived. We didn't really feel how tiring it was to fly. Su Yuan didn't feel anything, so he waved his hand and led his people out of the airport through the VIP channel. The sun is shining, and the weather is just right in the Maldives. Li Guo, who was originally unhappy on the plane with his 2 puppies, suddenly seemed to come alive when he saw the weather and walked briskly with joy. The 2 little puppies also followed him and ran wildly on their short legs. At the airport gate, Li Hao was already wearing a pair of flowery shorts and a wreath around his neck, and was waiting for them at the gate with the pretty little lowly Yan Yan. Surprise! As soon as he saw a few people walking out of the airport gate, Li Hao shouted, and Yan Yan also threw the ribbons in his hand out. Godfather, godmother. As soon as Yan Yan saw Su Yuan and Zhao Qingsu, she shouted enthusiastically. Su Yuan also picked up the little girl with a smile. Is it fun here? It's super fun here. You can swim in the water every day, Tilda. Yan Yan answered happily, looking at Su Yuan's parents and Zhao Qingsu's parents with her curious big eyes. Hey, whose child is this? How can he be so cute? Come, grandma, hold me, Tilda. What's your name? Zhao Qingsu's mother and Su Yuan's mother especially liked children. When they saw Yan Yan was so cute and tender, they couldn't help but play with Yan Yan. When Li Hao saw this scene, he was immediately unhappy and shouted to Su Yuan's mother, Godmother, do you really have me as your godson in your heart? How could you change your mind in the blink of an eye? Su Yuan's mother smiled and said, You are already such a grown-up, why are you still competing for favor with a child? Speaking of which, is this child your daughter? If she remembered correctly, Li Hao hadn't even gotten married yet, so how come he suddenly had a daughter? Such a lovely child, who else could it be except my daughter? Li Hao's tone was proud when he said this. When are you going to get married? When are you going to have a baby? Upon hearing that it was indeed Li Hao's daughter, Su Yuan's mother was immediately shocked. Isn't this too fast? I'm not married yet, godmother. As for the child, it's a long story. Li Hao sighed but soon laughed again. Don't worry about such a small matter.